All right, looks like stream is rolling, so we're rolling. First things first, I have a new map for y'all where I can reveal the parts you have not yet seen from a distance or explored personally. Here it is, linked in the chat, also able to be found in your images and maps now. You can also see a useful pin that says you are here. It's where you are.
Yeah,
it will not always be accurate if you get lost.
That was so weird. It spawned in as a super tiny box. I had to expand it.
Rarely it does that at random for random people. I don't know what controls it, but sometimes images and maps just load that way, and I can't explain it.
We're that high up that we can see this much?
Yes. Well, I mean, it's like, let's see, each hex is a mile, more or less, or 10 miles? 10 miles. Each hex is about 10 miles. So you were able to see for about 100 miles, and then a little bit further. You're like over 50 stories up.
Oh, geez. I didn't realize how exactly high we were.
Firefinger is, well, 30 stories up, 300 feet. Still significant. And then you mostly can see, like, you can't see all the details that are on the map exactly, but you can see, you might notice that the parts that where like the jungle is not, like, you can see the valley to the west that has now been revealed, and the valley to the south that has now been revealed. Yes, the gold stars mean inspiration.
Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off what you were talking about.
It's okay. I don't mind explaining inspiration either. It's important to remember. Inspiration can be used to re-roll, to roll again on something, and you can do that after you get the results. You can also use it on other players. So if you really don't want Fennec to get mind controlled, you can send him your inspiration and have him re-roll that saving throw. Only d20 rolls, not damage.
So you're saying that it would have been nice if somebody was inspired when I got punted off the side of the damn.
It's true, but you all got inspiration for surviving that incredibly difficult fight, and also for role playing that took place during and around it.
This is true.
Was that encounter supposed to be that hard, or is it just because of the dumb luck of me getting punted off the side? It's super complicated.
Because of the decision to stand like right on the edge and get punted off right away, which was a mixture of dumb luck and strategy.
Don't forget the alerting them to a that we were there with the double nat ones on climbing.
Yeah, there are several moments of poor luck there.
I didn't make the conscious choice to stand on the edge as much as it was
the only place to stand at the time.
Yeah, because I just climbed to the top of the ladder or the rope or whatever.
Yeah. All right, so speaking of which, when last we left our intrepid adventurers, the very successful adventuring company, we found them in the depths of the jungles of Chult, where accompanying their guide, Azaka Stormfang, also their additional guide, Kawasha, and his small plant friend, nicknamed Weed. You ascended to the height of Firefinger, which appeared to be an ancient, well, fairly old, several hundred-year-old Chultan beacon that was still burning with magical fire at the top. It had been occupied by Terra folk, or Terror folk, as they're often called locally. Huge, swooping, humanoid, reptilian, pterodactyl people. You faced them in combat, nearly perished, but through Bran, Blackfeather recognizing his ability to fly, Fennec recognizing his ability to use a grappling hook effectively.
I Nathan Drake that shit.
And Darkassin recognizing his ability to sneak into the place where the treasure you wanted was and grab it so that Azaka would fight for you better. You were able to overcome the stiff odds. Then you made camp on top of Firefinger, because now that you cleared out the Terrafolk, it's probably one of the safer places to camp in Chult. And you were able to get a wide view in every direction. Now, you'd also met a prisoner previously in Firefinger. His name. Nephir, the Aarakocra, race of winged bird people, who alerted you that they have a place where they have made their home to the southeast. He described it, and now that you look out to the southeast, you can kind of see the mountain he must have been speaking of. I have drawn a small circle on the map of it. It's that hill there. You'd also considered heading east to the ruined city of Mesro, which has either been cleared out or is horribly infected with undead. One of the two, that's for sure. And that is not far from you at all to the east. I think your general plan was to grab your canoes and then trek east across the jungle with them to that other river and then take the river south, but you're welcome to discuss or change those plans.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds familiar.
And that also sounds like a brilliant plan, to be honest.
Your high vantage point did let you see a good portion of the lost continent of Chult. You could see a wide valley opening up to the west and to the south with lakes.
What's the bottom circle marking again?
That's where the Aarakocra
Okay.
place is. You're not quite sure what form it takes, but settlement.
In my notes,
Sabal, yes.
I have mentioned that we learned of Oracle in the jungle who could possibly help with a cure in Oralunga.
Oh, yes. It's also very important. So Azaka revealed to you that she is in fact a were-tiger. She was rather forced to during the combat, and claims that as she was born one, she is able to control herself largely. That has never passed on her course, nor does she intend to. She also informed you, now that you had retrieved the masks of her family that she had wanted from the Terra folk that they had stolen, that she is aware of an oracle in the jungle in Oralunga, but she does not know exactly where Oralunga lies, except that it's far to the west of your current location.
Well, it seems our course is relatively clear then. Yeah, the river travel route is going to be the quickest way to get there, and then we can circle around, trekking across the woods and what appears to be an open plains, or is that swampland?
To the west or the south?
Southwest of us, there's a light green part.
Yeah, that part is. It looks like some sort of verdant valley, probably swampy to some degree.
Okay. Like, is there like a fog settled over it?
Yes, as it is morning, I would imagine there is like a mist definitely clinging to the tops of the trees and sinking down into that valley. You also saw there's a large piece of earth floating in the air above it.
Like a moat?
Hung there. Yes, an earth moat.
Wow.
They were quite common in Faerun after the spell plague.
Yes, I know,
but more recently, many of them have fallen to the earth. The ones that remain are either still powered by some sort of natural upwelling of arcane energy, or have someone maintaining them that allow them to continue flying.
So east to see if that area is cleared out. Follow the river south, get our temporary wings, and fly west to find the oracle. Seems like a plan to me.
Good tentative plans, anyway.
Those seem like a better plan than any.
I will follow your lead now, says Sasaka. You have my loyalty for as long as you wish it.
Completed her companion quest.
Asaka will remember that.
Balsar actually turns and he offers his hand to Osaka. You have earned my trust. It is not something I give freely.
She kind of grins a little and takes the offered hand, clasping you by the forearm tightly, and says, "Likewise." So now we will resume our journey. So it's unless you all have anything else you wish to discuss at camp before you head off, I'm pretty sure I gave everyone a rest already. Yep.
Yeah, you applied
I
a rest
did.
to everybody
Good.
beforehand. Because I have all my spell
A
slots
good
back.
long rest. Yes.
Let me make sure there's no good there. Okay.
We gotta be getting close to level 4.
You can see by clicking on the magnifying glass next to your class, just to the left of your proficiency bonus on the main tab. You're about 1,000 away.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought we were much closer than that.
No, yeah, it was even after that fight, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time.
And that was a fair amount of XP for that fight. So who is, let's see, who's making the survival checks in this party? I don't think we've had to actually do it yet because you've been
That would
traveling
be
by
me.
Probably Kuasha, or never mind. Yeah,
could be
No, that would-
Kuasha.
Well, Balasar is trained in survival and has a +4 wisdom score.
okay.
Fennec has a +3 in training and survival.
Well, you two can assist each other and determine. Let's see, you both have +4 to the roll. So whichever one of you wishes to lead at any given time, you can do so. So it'll be a day's travel back to the canoe. You won't have to roll to there because you're not going to get lost doing that. And then because you're carrying the canoes, you don't have the option to travel quickly, but you can travel at a normal pace still. Or you could travel at a slower pace, which allows you to possibly get the drop on any random encounters you run into. But each time you do that, I roll a d4. And if I roll a 1 or a 2, you don't travel any hexes that day if you travel slowly. If you travel normally, it's just 1 hex per day. So it's a day back to canoes, and then about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days to Mesro through the jungle.
Where's the calendar? Hold on. We have until the 20th of Nightal, right? No.
22nd of Marpanoth, I believe.
Yeah, that's the one that's got the.
And that's the approximate deadline. It's probably longer than that, could be shorter than that, but probably longer. That's just like.
And it's currently the 11th?
It is currently.
Wow, so 12 to the canoe, and then how many days over?
Well, only 1 to the canoe. It's 1 day to the canoe, and then 6 days to Mesro, more or less, assuming you don't get lost. So that's 7 days there. And then traveling down the river, you get to travel 2 hexes per day, 3 possibly, if you throw caution to the wind when doing so. So then it will be about, let's see, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12. So about 6 days down the river to Kirsabal afterwards, if that's the goal.
Is this a typo here? It says the date is the 11th.
It must be, yes. That's.
Is it 1D1st? 1D1st.
1D1st. I guess we'll see when we get there.
Well, I mean, Bilbo Baggins was 11D1.
Why not? Oops. No, it does it right when I send it to the chat. Weird. Anyway.
I'm on to you, 11th.
And remember that, and remember, of course, that your goal overall is to find the mysterious soulmonger, which is causing death to affect all those who have been resurrected.
All right, well.
Sounds like a plan.
That sounds like the main quest, and we love our side quests.
So, do you make the checks for us, or do we make the checks?
Well, you don't have to make the check for the first day, so you're able to head back to the news, but I do have to still roll for random encounters on your way back there. Now, because you're traveling with Kawasha, each night he is usually able to find, unless you're in a very dangerous location, a place where the Chwinga spirits will guard your sleep. So you do not have to set a watch, according to him, and I won't be rolling for random encounters for when you're resting at night. We should still keep track of your bug repellent tactics.
All right. Well, I have plenty, and I think at least two other of us also have a lot.
We'll just we'll look into that once you guys get to Mesro. Like as you arrive,
Okay.
then we'll see how much you used up, and then we can subtract from there. Because
Sounds
that'll be
good to me.
easier, just in case you get lost. So I will bring up my encounter tables. Get rolling for that. You're unlikely to. You are in danger of you are in an area of light undead activity, according to Kawasha and what you've learned. That's that lighter yellow area. So let's see. Journey back to canoes. There we go. You encounter no trouble getting back to your canoes and gather them up once more. This is the point from which you will have to make a survival check. Either Fennec or Balasar, the other one can assist the other, and you will get, and that lets you get advantage on the roll. So
I think you do have a higher
Okay.
score than me.
All right. Give me a minute.
yeah, Balasar is +4, and you have +3.
Yep.
Oh,
We're off to a good start.
at least I dropped a 2.
Moment. What the heck?
I'm gonna be muted for a minute. I gotta place an order.
Fine, my Adobe is acting up. Really need to switch PF readers.
I started using Foxit.
Yeah, that was recommended to
Woo,
me
Foxit, woo.
today. Okay. Go. Cool. So the Going to make your way towards Mesro. And on the first day of travel, after picking up your canoes, you're portaging them through the desert, through the jungle. It's humid, hot. Your salves keep the bugs at bay, but it is uncomfortable travel, to say the least. Nonetheless, you encounter no dangers on your first day of travel. Please make another survival check. Yeah, I forgot. I'll do it for him.
I could roll it too.
Second day, you realize that Valsar realizes that the direction you guys were headed in is the direction that you thought it was, but not the direction he thought it was. In other words, you went the right way, but just through random chance on the first day. Nonetheless, he is certain of your heading now. And you continue to travel safely through the jungle on the second day.
Sorry, did you do the roll for me?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm about to do another one for you too, but then you can pick up from there.
Okay.
You realize that you had gone the right way purely by chance on the first day. But now you are fairly certain of your heading. So let's see. 1 to 2.
Had to get the lay of the land before it starts kicking in.
Day 3.
We are new to this jungle after all.
You make your way deep into the depths of the jungle
Well, hello, Miss Sophie. How can I help you?
and have no trouble on that day either. So far, so good. Go ahead and roll another check. Should have 2 more.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, that advantage is really
Wow.
saving you.
Okay, apparently purple's a bad color for dice too. So
No, I would stay committed. I would stay committed to purple.
think so.
Break the
Yeah.
curse. Stick with it.
Yeah, you gotta fight. You gotta fight it from the inside. Also, purple's pretty fickle and mean if you invoke her wrath. I guess I don't know by switching colors. I'm just gonna say that's true.
Okay.
Very nice. One moment.
To be honest, I should probably be using white dice since I'm a cleric of Bahamut.
It's closest you're gonna get to.
You should use silver dice.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't boot up my. There we go. I don't have my additional map packs loaded. One sec.
Oh no.
Nothing to be concerned about, I'm sure.
It's totally fine.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah!
You people stop saying "oh no" in this courtroom.
My cat just gave me the dirtiest look when I said, "Oh yeah." Just, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Is that outdoor fight?
Yeah, I'll tell you, kiddo, you've been a lot cuddlier lately. Well, if you're so tired, go to sleep. It's funny, she's laying on my chest, licking my forearm, and yawning after like every 3 licks. It's adorable, but it's just...
Hey there. Boom. Perfect. That's what I'll do nicely.
We're almost there.
Sure, the token be the right size. Nope, they're not. But I can.
Oh, by the way, if any of you are Rick and Morty fans, Rick and Morty season 3 is now up on Hulu, and it's uncensored.
Nice.
Yeah. Unlike the previous 2 seasons, which are not. Yay. Oh no.
Oh
Nothing to be
no.
concerned about. Just a random map. Oh,
Called a battle map.
You have been waylaid by bandits and must defend yourself.
I'll describe the stuff. My info
Uh,
on the wrong scale. That's what's that. Shit.
Also, the obligatory you must gather your party before venturing forth.
Okay. So
Cannot rest when there are enemies nearby.
the grid is set on here. So
you cannot use that while in combat.
there we go. That should be good enough. Yeah, it looks like it actually lined up pretty well. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Arrange yourselves in your marching order. Oops. This general. Well, let's put you guys further out. So there's your over. I don't know. In this general square that you guys are in, you can rearrange yourselves.
Well, doesn't it take 2 to carry a canoe?
That's true. You have canoes, at least 2. Let's see. So everybody's strength scores.
My
Oh.
strength is a +3.
Fennec is pretty strong. Fennec is pretty strong. Everyone else just average strength, more or less. So Fennec and one other person can carry one of the canoes, and someone else will have to carry the other. So I wonder if I have a canoe token. do. I don't. I'll just use.
Maybe maybe whoever's holding the canoes can use them as shields. We're gonna get if we get peppered by arrows. Hopefully that's not a thing. Oh yeah, Asaka's really strong.
Yes, that is true.
Wait, what?
These aren't enemies. This is just the tokens I'm going to use for the canoes.
Oh right, okay.
So you guys can put yourselves to the south too. Azaka's pretty strong, so she'll help with whichever one Fennec's not helping with.
So you just like stretch your arms out and carry, like assist in carrying both through left and right.
Sorry, Jay. Just move the NPCs out. Weed is of no use when carrying the canoes, by the way.
I just
Maybe
picture like weed sitting on top of the canoe as we're walking along.
Nice. That seems likely. Yeah, that makes sense. All
We
right.
just sits on the canoe.
Yeah, that works. Okay, excellent.
Cool.
As you're traveling, you catch the scent of death on the air. Kawasha looks up, instantly aware. Listens for a moment. You hear the snapping of branches and coming towards you. And Kawasha's eyes narrow. Zombies, he says. Big ones.
We should get into position. Get ready to fight.
You have
Yeah,
a
drop the
moment
canoes.
to do so. You can move up to your movement speed. Yes, dropping the canoe and stealthing is an option.
Can we move through the canoe?
Yeah, I think I might do that too.
Or...
You guys set them down, I imagine. So
Okay.
yeah, it does cost double movement to move over them. So it costs 10 movement to go over them.
Do we get like an action before the fight starts?
Yes, one.
Okay, then I'm
It's
gonna.
kind of a
I'm gonna.
surprise round, but you don't know where the enemies are at exactly yet.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna do stealth. Ouch.
Does anybody else have Bran kind of tried Darkassin, as you guys sit down to the canoe, Darkassin slips kind of behind, crouching down. You can tell that his stealth looks to be fairly effective. Bran less so, as his feathers kind of poke out brightly over the top of the canoe.
I think Fennec's gonna move forward to there and just have his shield and sword drawn. And at the ready.
Asaka will do the same, more or less.
Oh, is movement also possible?
Yep, up to your speed. Or I guess double if you want to not.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
All right, excellent. Jay, you get. Quasha said there's big zombies coming towards you. You get like one action and up to your movement before you see them and before the fight starts. So far, everybody's kind of set down the canoe, and Darkaslan kind of made his way out to the side and hid. Bran's kind of trying to hide between the two canoes less successfully, and Fennec and Azaka made their way forward. Kawasha slams the bottom of his staff on the ground. Thorny, sharp thorns spread out from the top of it as it becomes a more intimidating weapon. And then the wood texture of the staff spreads over his hands and over his entire body as his skin becomes his bark. Weed, for his part, moves kind of to the front of the canoe that he's in and gets his sling ready.
Balasar steps forward, draws his. He pulls his shield off of his back and draws his mace. And hold on. And he utters a small prayer to Bahamut and taps his mace against his shield as it lights up.
How good. It is like the afternoon, but it is shady underneath the trees, so now you will no longer be in dim light as you were. Let's see, I think that light spreads how far? 20 foot radius, and then dim for another 20 feet. So we won't worry about that too much, but it is good. Then you see them careening out of the jungle. Suddenly the crashing of branches grows louder as you see an entire tree falls over, and bursting out of, like, not necessarily the edge of the tree line. You can see moving between the massive jungle trees of Chult, huge white figures with patches of fur missing. And you realize that these aren't just human zombies as you might be accustomed to fighting. These are some sort of huge mammalian beast with multiple arms and glowing blue triangles emblazoned on their foreheads. They're crashing through the brush towards you.
The blue triangles look familiar at all?
We can cover that on your action. But
Very
they do.
well.
I don't think you guys have encountered them before. No, you've not.
Nope.
Okay, my turn.
Bran goes first, actually. If you like, as your bonus action, you can make a knowledge check, and I will give you information. Arcana or history would apply. Or religion, to a degree.
Nope.
You do not recognize them, though they're clearly necromantic magic of some kind.
Oh, sure.
Is it an action to do a knowledge check?
It's like a bonus action, I'm going to say, because some classes do get that as a free action, I realize. So I'm trying to make people do something.
Okay.
Well, let's see.
Lame.
How does holding an action work again?
So you pick a specific trigger and the action you want to take. Now the action can be kind of vague. You can say I cast a spell.
Okay.
And the trigger can be kind of vague, like an enemy gets within range of a friend, but it has to be a specific trigger and a specific action that you're waiting on.
Gotcha. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to cast a spell when one of those zombies gets close enough to engage Fennec and or Azaka.
Cool. And sorry, what's the action you're holding? Like, what are you going to do when that happens?
Cast a spell.
Cast a spell? All right, cool.
I mean, I know which one I want to cast. I can tell you what it is. If you want, I can tell you which one it is. But
I mean, it's helpful, but yeah.
Fairy Fire.
Cool. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Good spell. All right, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Fennec.
All right.
Look at me at the bottom of the
I'm going
list.
to move in my my movements up to about there, and then ready my action to attack the first zombie that gets in range.
Sweet. It shall be so. Also keep in mind that held actions take place after the trigger. So like the enemy will get to get up to you, but before it can attack, you'll get to take your action.
Okay.
Now the horrible massive mammalian zombies make their way through the jungle towards you. As they see living beings, a rage seems to overcome them, and they crash quickly through the undergrowth, paying no heed to whatever is in their path. I guess the first one will just go straight for Fennec, so you will get your attack here.
One moved into threatening range, so the triggered effect from Brand goes off.
That is true as well. I guess Brand's
Yes.
spell goes off first, actually.
Oh, does my spell go off before he attacks even?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you set the trigger that when something moved into
Got it.
into range.
Okay, I thought it got its. I thought you were explicitly saying it got its thing first. Oh, that was just for reacting with an attack, not
Right.
spell.
Yeah, it's just an important note for like how you phrase triggers. Sometimes you want things to happen after they attack.
Oh,
So,
sure. Yeah,
note
makes
that.
sense.
Obviously, I'm not going to be a
let's see.
huge hard ass about it.
Right. Okay. So in order to cast this on the, do I drag the?
So you have a few options. I would recommend starting just so that we know how to do this in the future, although it's not strictly necessary in this context. Right click anywhere on the map and then click on pointers. It's like usually in the upper left. It looks like pointers, and then draw a
Yep, got it.
square, and then draw a 20-foot square, and then position it where you want it to be. Keeping in mind that in 5th edition, spells have to be like area effect spells have to be on an intersection of squares. Right. Exactly. Here, I'll delete mine now that you have yours.
Okay, and then drag.
And then you
my
can,
spell onto it.
Yep, you can drag your spell onto it, and then in the future we'll also go over how to target multiple enemies, but for now this is fine. You can do it in the combat tracker or on the map. Either works. Hold on though, one sec. I don't think your spell DC is correct.
But Dex 12, it should be.
It's listed right now for your Fairy Fire spell as, oh, it was 8. Sorry, I don't know why it was not updated correctly on mine. Carry on.
All right, no, it's fine. And then casting is just you do it. Do I drag the dice?
Drag
over?
the save. Yep.
Okay.
You can click on the words or the die next to it. Either works.
Okay, done.
It did not happen. There
Okay.
you go. Fantastic.
All right.
The
everyone
enemy
has
failed,
advantage
so
to hit that thing.
in fact, you can now use the effect and put that on the enemy, and people will automatically have advantage.
Got it.
Ta-da! And it will fall off after 1 minute. And then you can delete your pointer.
1 minute is
box
10
whatever you want.
rounds?
6 rounds. 10 rounds, sorry.
Oh.
10 rounds is correct, yes.
It's just 6 seconds per round. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep. And then Fennec gets his attack, which will have advantage.
Which is why that was relevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. Light him up.
There we go.
As it crashes towards him, Fennec draws his Fennec's longsword is out, and he stabs it into the thing's side. It mostly deflects the blow, but you can see the flat edge of the blade, the flat part of the blade does land with a thud against its side between 2 of its arms. Then it begins to slam down, first with its bite.
Oh, it just barely hit me.
Just barely, but just for a bit of damage. And then with all 4 of its arms, one by one, slamming down at him. Oh, jeez.
Oh, no!
Fuck.
The first one catches Fennec right in the jaw with a right hook. He staggers backwards, and you feel there's a cracking sound in his mouth, and a bit of blood runs down out of it.
Christ.
Time to cast healing spells.
The next one, though, is less successful. As perhaps surprised at its own success, it slams where Fennec was standing before instead of where he stands now.
Did it really critically hit and then automatically miss?
It sure did.
This thing gets way too many attacks. This is really scary.
It lands
misses
another
crits.
one. It draws another claw against Fennec's chest, opening up 4 long gashes through his armor, peeling off a piece of his breastplate for the moment, and leaving him thoroughly wounded, though still standing. Oh, and sorry, on the map, anything that has like plants on it is difficult terrain. So it will cost double movement for anything to move through it. So that's... So the Grillin zombie is crashing towards where the rest of the party is gathered, but it cannot quite make it that turn. Oh, hold on, I can actually move at least a little bit further. Yeah, it can move up to Azaka, but it cannot attack this turn. It spends all of its actions. And we'll go all the way to the side here. Yeah. The other Grillon moves, surges forward, leaps over where Fennec and the other Grillon are fighting, and slams down in front of Azaka and Balasar. I will roll randomly to see which one of them it will attack.
When it leaps over me, am I able to use my reaction to attack it?
Oh, I suppose you are. Very well.
Wait, 1 second. That was number 3.
Okay, good. Making sure that my shield was equipped before you started rolling against me.
Thanks.
Because I did actually draw it this time.
You did.
Alright. Hit it.
Fennec's sword shoots up as it leaps over him and draws a thin line of blood down one of its legs, but it hardly seems to know as well. It doesn't bleed, of course, being a zombie. Just kind of like black ichor leaks out. But it hardly seems to notice the wound. It lands a bite on Azaka, but quickly realizes that it is fairly futile to attack her. Will not do so next round. I'm not going to roll the next attacks.
Is it intelligent enough to know that?
I mean, it knows when it's not getting meat because it's trying to bite through flesh and not succeeding.
Oh, gotcha.
It's not super bright, but it's bright enough for that. But it will waste its attack on her for this turn at least.
Well, thankfully for that.
Weed, the hero of Chult.
With his mighty sling.
Pops. Actually, I think he will come out of the canoe. Oops.
Slap that gorilla.
10. Moves quick for a little guy. He makes his way
Son
through.
of a bitch.
And slings nut at the Grillon that is lit up by fairy fire. By the way, what color is your fairy fire, Bran? I think your options are violet, green, or blue.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
I mean, you can change it each time too.
Let's do violet for now.
Sweet.
By the way, JP, damn you and your random perfect strategy.
I don't know what you were planning, but I'm glad that I ruined it.
Well, if I remember correctly, yes, you can move diagonally, but if I wanted to move into Asaka's space, I would have to use 2 movement actions because I can't move through the zombie.
Correct. Yes, that is accurate.
Which means I'm now 1 movement short of getting to Fennec this turn. So that means I have to use a much weaker...
Oh God, it's true. All right, in any case, Weed's nut slings and manages to strike the Grillon.
Hooray.
The Grillon zombie on the side of the head. It kind of looks confused for a moment, but keeps its focus on Fennec for the time being. Darkassin, still hidden.
Wait, how the heck did you attack that one? That's the one all the way across the way.
He's using his longbow.
Longbow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Longbow.
It's like that's a hell of a stabbing range.
And
he can lunge really far.
Just has super reach.
the longbow fires, but it just barely manages to like deflect off of the fur. It leaves a what would be a welt on any living creature, a small mark on the grill on one of the Grillin's arms, but it still seems largely unharmed. Azaka, I think. Azaka will glance at Balasar and say, "Do you have this one?"
I need to get the Fennec.
Well, she'll do what she can then, and swing her scimitar at the one blocking your way. Not once, but twice. Quick slashing motions that deal significant damage to the Grillon, but it's still standing, showing no sign of noticing its wounds yet. What shall Kawasha do? Kawasha heard you. And in that case, we'll step forward. And once more slam the bottom of his staff on the ground, a wave of thunder rolling out from it. Casted at level 3. Nope, level 2. Ha. Oh, zombie failed. Nice. And that knocks the massive zombie back several feet. Perhaps giving Balasar the room he needs to reach Fennec. If he's willing to risk an attack of opportunity. I think then... Yeah, Quash will just move up here to kind of give the back row area to maneuver. Balasar. Kawasha looks at you and says, "Go!" after sending the Gorillon reeling back.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then here is where I provoke.
Yep. I mean, you'll be able to keep moving regardless, unless you're dead. But that seems... If I kill you in one hit, I will be impressed.
Well, considering I have 24 hit points, that'd be pretty tough to do.
Don't
Because
jinx yourself.
He doesn't get all of his attacks.
It's true. Just the one. Oh, it missed. Sorry. I'll take that damage off. Haha. It's the claw swings out at you, but Balasar deflects it off of his shield and makes it to Fennec.
All right, and as soon as he gets there, he rests his hands on Fennec, and he says, "Behind me!" And does a he's casting Cure Wounds as a second level.
Sweet. There's an easy way to do that, and that's when you pick up the dice to heal. Just right-click once, and it will add another die.
Okay, so
before dropping.
All right, so then
That does sound easy.
So right-click. Oh, I pick up the dice and then I right-click. Okay.
Yep.
And then I drop it on Fennec. Huzzah!
You do feel a significant amount of your energy returning to you as the wounds on Fennec's chest kind of heal over from the light of Bahamut.
Thank you.
Not much time to say much else. Anything else, Jay?
No, that's my movement and
An action.
Yeah, my action and the speech. So yeah, I don't have a bonus action of use. So
Excellent. And we're back to Bran.
Okay. So I wanted to ask,
Mm-hmm.
am I comfortable enough with flight to use it, or was that kind of a one-time thing? And then
No, you can. It's fine at this point.
Okay.
Cat's out of the bag there.
Well, cat's out of the bag. Okay. So how does that work? Is that a move action to just fly up into the air, basically?
Yeah, you have a movement speed of
I think it's
fly 50, something ridiculous like that. Although
Yeah.
your actual movement speed is lower, so which is something I learned recently.
Okay, so
Flight speed of 50. Yeah, so we'll just have to note how high up you are, but you can put yourself in whatever square you like. Remember that when you're
Right.
traveling vertically, though, it's still like 5-foot squares, so that takes up portions of your movement.
Right, that makes sense. I'm gonna fly up. Actually, I'm only gonna go up about, we'll say, I'll be here, but 30 feet up.
Yep, that makes sense.
All right, and then I have bonus action, regular action, right?
I'm just going to
Got
make
it.
a note on your sheet. Yep.
Okay, so my bonus action is gonna be to cast Healing Word on Fennec. One sec. That's gonna be a level 2. So heal 7 more. And then Darkessin shot an arrow at that one, so I'm gonna follow that up with a little heat metal to rub it in a bit.
Sure.
and
Okay.
GG.
There's an arrow in it. I'll allow it.
Okay. Oh yes, I guess I should have asked because you allowed it the other time, and I wasn't sure if you'd allowed it again. I guess I don't know if that's broken or not. If it is, like we can change it. But yeah.
It's fine for now.
Okay.
It may not always work.
Sure enough. Damn. Oh, I thought that was 2 sevens almost.
I thought
All right,
so
takes
too.
8 fire.
Still significant as the red hot arrow stuck in its shoulder. Well, sorry, as the arrow stuck in its shoulder, the tip of it grows red hot, and you could see steam coming out of the charred flesh around it.
All right. There we go.
Sweet. Fennec's turn.
Right.
The two of the grillins now look injured, including the one in front of you. The other one is still largely unharmed.
All right. Like it's still up.
It is still standing after that first blow.
So Fennec's gonna action surge and attack it again.
Oh wow, their AC is so bad. Nice.
I mean, they're giant. They're huge gorilla zombies. They're not hard to hit. Oh, it's still standing after Fennec's 2 long sword blows, but it looks like it's kind of just staggering on its last feet.
All right.
Numerous wounds leaking black ichor around it, and the triangle on its forehead glowing bright in the afternoon light.
Fennec lets out a
filtering down.
battle cry as he slashes across him.
It returns the favor. Furious at Fennec for daring to strike, its bite misses, but its claws begin raining down. 1, 2. I'm just gonna roll for all of them. 3, 4. 2 of them hit again. Fennec can't manage to block or dodge them all, but he manages to remain on his feet, despite the wounds that the claws deal to him. Grillin is furious at Kwasha and will surge forward to attack him. Dang. Dang. Is that 4 claw attacks? No, one more.
Dodge.
Quasha manages to block or dodge most of the Grillon's attacks, his bark skin keeping him safe and fending it off with the shillelagh quarterstaff. One manages to wound him, but it's not anything deadly, just drives the breath from his lungs for a moment. The other Grillon continues to attack the were-tiger, perhaps unaware that it does no good, though it has learned its lesson now. Weed attempts to kill Steel, chucking another nut at the Grillon. Fennec is fighting. He manages to do a bit of damage, but it's still not quite enough to take it down. The nut embeds itself in the back of the thing's skull, where some of the flesh had rotted enough to become soft. Darkassin. Darkassin puts his bow away, pulling out a small piece of metal and chucking it at the one that is on its last legs. It strikes it precisely in it strikes the same spot that Weed's nut had struck, sinking into the brain beneath and felling the huge creature. One down. Nice. Yes. After flinging the small piece of sharp metal, the shuriken, the elven shuriken at the Grillin and taking it down, Darkassin cartwheels to the side, a foot swinging at the Grillin near him. That's 3. Did we lose someone? Heard the... Seems we lost Jay for the moment, but that's fine. We'll press on. Catch up to him when he gets back.
Oh.
Probably connection issue.
Yeah, Discord has the whole streamer mode, so I don't hear notification sounds.
Yep. The foot connecting with the small of the Grillon's back, staggering it forward for a moment, though it still stands. That is until Zaka turns her attendance to it. Let's see. Yeah, she's going to continue her scimitar. Back to the injured one. Unfortunately, she misses with the first blow, perhaps not expecting Darkassin's blow to have staggered it, but the second scimitar strike lands. Sinking deep into its gut, it gives a roar of anger, black spittle falling from its lips onto Azaka's face. That's when Kawasha hit it with his shillelagh. Maybe. Let's find out. Or not. The shillelagh strike goes wide, just barely missing the rampaging Grillon zombie. Kawasha winces. We're back to Jay's turn. We're going to give him just a moment here to reconnect. He's still in Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah.
Oh, there he
There
is.
he is.
Sorry, Russ called me on here, and I had a choice. I could either ignore the call and then get a nasty gram from him, or just answer the call and figure out what the hell he wanted.
It's fine. I came around to your turn. One of the Grillons down. One of the other Grillon zombies is almost down.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty hurt again.
And the other one is still largely uninjured, and Fennec's pretty messed up. Although there's no enemies around Fennec at the moment, so everyone else is largely uninjured. Thankfully, the Grillons seem to be having a hard time hitting.
Okay, so I'm going to turn to Fennec, and I'm going to heal wounds again, but this time only as a first level.
A good one.
Yeah, I almost healed more than that, or more with the first level than I did with the second level.
Once again, the blood stops running from Fennec's wounds as you feel the spirit of the eldest platinum dragon infuse you. Heroism runs in your veins now. Anything else, Jay?
I'm going to move into a position where I'm out of reach for either of them, and I'm drawing my shield in front of me, and preparing for my next turn, basically.
Cool. Bran, 30 feet up in the air. You can feel the wind lightly coming through your feathers as your wingspan flaps, keeping you aloft. It is a freeing feeling, despite the danger beneath you. What do you do?
Okay. I'm gonna swoop down and try to get a good stab in there on number 3. Try to finish it off. So let's see. In order to do that without provoking an attack of opportunity, I'd have to like land here or something like that. How exactly does that part work?
I mean, you can, as long as you're within its threat range, you don't take opportunity attacks unless you leave their threat range.
Okay. What if I were to? Okay, sure. So if I swoop down and I land here and attack it, that's fine, right? Okay. That's where I want to end up, and I want to use a flourish if I hit. Hopefully, I hit. I don't think it should be. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, their AC is not great.
All right, that's a hit.
Sweet. Now on to you.
All right, so that's 8, and I guess I don't need to roll the extra damage at that point, but that was supposed to be a blade flourish, which means I'm gonna roll this.
Oh my goodness.
And my
boss is
AC is
calling everybody.
19 until the next until my next turn.
Sweet. We'll just keep that in mind.
Still, I turn with my blade in front of me in a defensive stance toward the grill, and that's still standing after I skewer the other one.
Brad's rapier slips up underneath the chin of the Grillon as he lands, skewering its brain and causing it to fall to the ground. Only one remains. He turns towards it, able to defend himself. Fennec.
All right. Oh, how much health am I at? Fennec's going to rush forward with a surge of second wind. It's 9 health back.
Sweet, I can do that.
So it's
I
second
gotta
wind
remember
or
to set up
something?
a button for that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rush at the remaining zombie and attack it.
This one is still completely uninjured
Not anymore.
until Fennec's longsword strikes it.
My turn.
Well, you succeeded in striking it, but you also succeeded in drawing its attention to you.
I mean, that is my purpose.
Once again, its bite comes down, but it careens off of the shield as Fennec raises it. Its claws try to reach around. The first one gets a grasp.
You said reach around.
Oh boy. Two of the claws again manage to strike. But Fennec is not bleeding this time, just bruised. It's 4 attacks, right? I can count? I can. Good.
Good number of attacks.
Gazaka's gonna kill this thing right here.
Maybe.
She better.
It's only a little bit
We'll see.
injured still. Weed's going to kill it right now.
Yeah, Weed's gonna one-shot it. I agree.
You know, it's sad. Our first fight against the undead, and I didn't get to freaking turn.
Weed moves back in, takes cover in the canoe, and chucking a nut at him from his sling. Unfortunately, the strike goes wide. The Elven monk drops, well, he doesn't drop anything, I suppose, having thrown a shuriken previously. Pulls out his quarterstaff and moves with ethereal grace across the battlefield to the Grillon. Apparently landing a critical hit, striking it directly in the back of the head. You hear a cracking noise as bones inside break. The thing doesn't go down, but Darkassin unleashes the flurry of unarmed blows, following up with it, elbows and knees.
If you're just doing one follow-up attack, oh, okay, you are doing the two. Okay.
Yeah,
Good God.
Sorry. Went full monk on that one.
Just pummeling it all around the head, neck, and shoulders.
Several of its ribs and parts of its skull broken. It continues to fight on, though it is now black ichor leaking from its wounds. Azaka Stormfang swings her scimitar in figure S pattern. First blow strikes, second one does not. Did I do damage? Yeah, I did. I'm getting more efficient than I can keep up with. Kawasha joins the group surrounding the Krillon.
Hey, can I roll?
Actually, he can make it to here, so he will.
No, because that would provoke an opportunity attack.
He could go around you.
Does he have enough movement to make it all the way around?
It's here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
1, 2,
5,
3,
10,
4,
15, 20,
5.
20. Easily. Yeah.
Okay.
Double checking on me, though. Then swings the thorny quarterstaff. Still doesn't bring the thing down, but manages to land a blow against its knees. It staggers. Remains standing. Belsar?
Balasar, having brandished his shield previously, steps forward and yells out a cry to Bahamut as he draws forth the primal energy of a cleric, and I'm trying to find the damn action for it. Is it under abilities?
What are you looking for? Action? It's probably under actions. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to turn.
Oh, we don't have a thing set up for that. Let's see. He just makes a saving throw.
Channel Divinity, turn undead. Yep.
Wisdom saving throw, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Versus your spell save DC, which is what, 12, 13? Let's see. 12. Okay. Ooh, not good at these.
They're not supposed to be.
Let's see. And turn creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can. It can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. It can't take reactions. It can only use the dash action to try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving. If there's nowhere to move, it can use the dodge action. Interesting. So a primal fear fills its dead eyes as the holy icon of Bahamut lights up with platinum fury. Anything else, Jay?
I'm just glad I got to use turn undead finally.
Yeah, effectively.
Undead. So I'm happy to rest on my laurels.
Bran.
All right, I'm just gonna try to finish this thing.
I don't think
Do it.
If he does damage, it'll break the turn.
That is Good to know.
I'm still so wait. So what are the normal effects of turn? It's that it's running away. Would it
Right
would
now, it's going to try to run away, and which will provoke opportunity attacks from everyone. So you could hold your action if you like.
Yeah, let me hold. Let me hold because I'd rather have everybody just get that instead.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So I assume Fennec's doing the same.
Yep, hold my action.
So I mean, you can make your attack anyway because it's going after Fennec. So Brand's attack goes off first, and then we'll just go around the circle from there.
Sounds good.
It's just happening at a slightly different time than anticipated. No, you can finish your attack. You hit, so roll your damage.
Oh, okay. You're just gonna count the damage after it moves, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, it's going to get one step and then get opportunity attacks from 5 people.
Yeah.
Right. So 6. So it takes 6 plus whatever else.
Yep, and then Fennec's opportunity attack. I mean, technically, if you delay actions, you can make 2 attacks.
That's what I was thinking we'd be doing.
But Fennec's slash will take it out anyway, so.
Got him.
Feel free to describe killing the last Gorillon. Whatever fashion you like.
I think, as it's trying to turn and make its run up, Fennec brings the blade across the back of its legs, preventing it from moving, and then goes for the final blow straight through the head.
Getting closer.
Kawasha looks up as you finish off the Gorillon with satisfaction and looks at all of you and nods. Yes, you are the correct group to travel with, he says.
Well said.
This was a very successful slaying. There is a place where the Chwinga will allow us to camp not far from here. Oh, these things? Tarkassen's asking questions in text in the chat. He'll be on voice soon. He's just having little issues still.
Okay.
Kawasha, what in the 9 fucking hells are those things? Asks Tarkassen, and Kawasha replies, these beasts. Let me see if he knows what they are. Probably. Oops. Indeed. Once these were gorillons. Now some force has taken their corpses. Gorillons, they're what you see before you. They're usually quite territorial, but not dangerous if you leave them alone. Someone animating them as the undead is...
scary.
Yes. Intimidating at the least.
Would it take some particularly powerful necromancer to do it?
It depends on if they have a source of power. Who is doing it? If I had to guess, these are likely still left over, or perhaps even created new by Ras Nazi. He is the one, I believe, as I explained briefly before, responsible for much of the destruction of Chult.
Perhaps I should take the lead from here on out. If we encounter more of those things, I want to give us the advantage immediately.
Kawasha kind of grins and says, but Belisar, if you drive them off, how will we kill them?
It's more so about planning our attacks without having to worry about the mindless brutes pummeling Fennec into the ground.
True.
And
yeah, I was doing pretty well there. I didn't go down, did I?
Hi, you were taking those blows admirably, I'd say.
Fennec kind of beats on his chest a little.
As he's talking, like when he mentions about Fennec getting pummeled, he actually kind of pats him on the back, and you see like the various like tears and rips in his armor have just mend themselves. Magical seamstress. One of my most favorite cantrips of all time.
Much
Mend
appreciated.
It's called mending. It's just so simple. Oh, you broke that artifact by dropping it on the ground because it was fragile? Now it's put back together. uh, Balsar will assist.
Yeah, I'll
Hassan
help out that too.
gathers up the corpses, and the rest of the party assists, and you burn them before you depart.
Balsar actually performs funeral rites as well.
Quash explains they are beasts, but I appreciate your
Yeah, I'm a little. I'm not going to interrupt her saying.
they do
anything, but I'm just
deserve
gonna look
their
a little
respect
strangely.
after being. I think they do deserve respect after being desecrated in such a way. They would not have asked for this if they could.
If I wasn't already inspired, I would ask for inspiration after that, but
Naturally, but yeah, you're
because of
good.
my ideal.
Excellent. Excellent. Anything else anybody wants to accomplish here before we move on?
I'm curious to know more about this Russ and C. Russ and C.
Rosnazi.
Russ and Z.
So we'll say that you guys make your way to the camp that Kawasha knows of nearby. And as the Twinga spirits are small, have I shown you an image of them?
Yeah, they look kind of.
You have seen them at night.
Princess Mononoke, right?
They do. I'll share the image again so that Mike can share it on this the
I pulled it
stream
up already.
Nice.
Little guys right over here.
They have been indeed often guarding your sleep. You see them every now and again in the bushes, though they tend to avoid you.
They're watching us sleep. Oh no.
They're watching you sleep and watching for things.
Hope they're not making fun of us when we're sleeping.
You haven't heard them make any noise or anything like that.
Okay.
Other than moving through the brush. Once you're back at the camp, you're free to ask Kawash whatever questions, and Azaka for that matter, whatever questions you like.
Right.
I have an OOC question for the DM here.
Okay, I'll handle that first.
Well, you're because I see that you apply a party experience. Are we actually dividing party experience with our guides as well because they're assisting us in combat?
No, I'm afraid not. They will not level up.
Well, I'm not even so much worried about them leveling up. I'm wondering if we're actually costing ourselves XP by having two guides.
No, you are not. Though eventually their use will lower over time and they'll become more of a liability. But for now, they
in other words,
fight with you.
At some point, we're gonna carry them.
Yeah. Although Azaka is pretty damn powerful, as you gathered. So
I was gonna say she's kind of Right. So Kawasha, who is this Raz? Who's this Raz fellow? And how do you know him?
I do not know him personally. I only know
right, never mind.
of him.
Well, then who is he?
He laughs a little, but he seems sad. And he goes on to explain. He was once a great hero, a holy warrior of Ubtao, the god who once watched over this land. At some point, though, he fell and raised a great army to conquer the city of Mesro and the land of Chult. He was rebuffed, but in the process, we all lost the favor of Ubtao, and this land began fall into darkness and death. The remains of his army still infest the jungle. Pieces of the necromantic energy he used continuing to raise undead, and some believe that Raznazi still exists somewhere in these depths, though it has been several hundred years. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, for now. It's quite a bit to learn about these lands, about the things that uh, plague it.
There are many troubles, though many of them track their source back to Rosnazi.
You know, that what you just told me sounds like it has the seems like good fodder for quite the epic story. I don't suppose you know more tales about this man, do you?
Let me see.
I mean, if you think of him over time, you could just tell me. We don't have to dwell too long on it right this moment. But
We may learn more if we go to Mesro and other places. It is said that what he did out of love. He believed that his techniques would better protect Chult from the dangers that Faerun was bringing to it. Some suggest that he foresaw the spell plague and was attempting to prepare for it. I think he was merely a man misled, fall into darkness.
someone thought he was a bit more pragmatic than maybe he was.
It is hard to say.
Is it assumed that we have a rest? Or
Yeah,
we're gonna
I'm
do, like, a long
applying you
rest?
guys.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are not interrupted again, thankfully. So I'll apply
Okay,
that
that was
rest
gonna be
for
my
you.
next concern, was like making sure we could actually rest safely, because I think we need it real bad.
That's why Kwasha took you to a place of safety right after. And that was pretty much your travel for the day. That happened kind of near the end when you guys were getting ready to wind down and the sun was starting to begin to set. We should be a day's travel from Mesro. We shall see tomorrow what we shall learn. Anything else in camp?
I've got
But
nothing.
we're resting. So okay, you already applied it. Never mind.
Yep. All right, next day. Survival check.
Yep.
You got this.
With advantage though, right?
Indeed. You and Fennec are working together. And probably Kwasha and Azaka.
There we go.
Much better roll. You realize that you went the wrong way yesterday. And now
Damn it.
you're here. I moved the icon where you are. You're still pretty close, but you're a day further away than you thought. You just want to head like northeast then today?
Let me pull the map back up. I had closed it when we were in combat.
Yeah, no problem. I don't blame you.
Too
I
many
just
windows.
minimize
I
it
have
down
a
and-
giant fucking monitor and I still had too many windows on my
I know. Tell me about it. I can't wait till they add dual monitor support. They said that they're going to, but right now they're reprogramming the whole thing into Unity. So it'll be a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds like a challenge.
Okay, so yeah, that's still northeast.
Yeah. So travel to there. Do you encounter any trouble? Everyone, please make your choice of perception or survival. Just one of them.
Well, that's 6 and 1 half dozen the other for me.
Bran? Or did he say be right back and I missed it? You might have. I'll just roll for him quick here.
Thanks.
All right. Oh, sorry. I didn't know if you had avocate for a second or something. It said that you were ZZZ on the fantasy
Yeah,
grounds.
I did briefly.
No trouble.
Just the runtime.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Where is... as you're traveling, Fennec, you make note that the area of jungle that you're making your way into would be quite advantageous if someone was planning to ambush you. And you do see movement in the jungle around you.
I immediately do a motion to the group to kind of alert them of the motion I saw around us. Something something watching us. Probably.
Set the canoes down.
So we're just going to use the same map again.
How lazy.
I don't have a bunch of maps for random encounters. Well, I do, but I'm still working on editing them so they work in Fantasy Grounds. Hopefully that'll be done by next session.
No,
There's
it's
the map
fine.
again. And just kind of place yourselves around the canoes once more. You can place your NPCs as well. You guys should be able to move them, I believe.
I think Izaka would be there. Watching the other canoe.
Makes sense. So, Fennec, you all set the canoes down. Once again, Guasha does his thing. Shillelagh's up. Does anybody else want to do anything in the moment that you have before you suspect the combat will be joined?
Probably draw my sword and shield.
Naturally.
Naturally?
Actually. And then you see them flitting here and there through the bushes, small creatures, perhaps just slightly larger than weed. Their skin is a kind of a light orange color and kind of leathery, and they're wearing large wooden masks, and they were clearly hiding in the brush all around you, waiting for the time to strike, and that time is now. Thankfully, due to Fennec's observation, you were not surprised.
God, they're everywhere.
That's a lot.
Cassin. Well, fuck. You don't think they've seen you, Darkassin, if that's any consolation. Like, you're hiding in the brush, but you realize the two are nearby you, having been hidden in the brush as well. And more nearby as well. You've got two nearby you. Do you want the one that's closer to the party in general? Assume so. The goblin just barely reacts in time. Actually, you're surprising it didn't see you, so you should have advantage on that roll. So please roll again. Thank you. That will hit. Yep. Like a ghost rising from the Shadowfell, Darkassin appears out of the bushes nearby and shanks one of the goblins. Immediately falls. You've moved 5 feet. Well, 10 feet because of the brush. Unexpected success. Goblins not known for their fortitude. Easily shanked. By the way, do you want to kill it or knock it out? I assume kill it. I just no. The second one sees Darkassin coming and ducks underneath. His unarmed strike. Fennec.
Um.
Oh, here. Name it. They're not currently looking like this, but that's more or less what they look like. They're not stacked up on top of each other, though.
Can I make it to here with my movement?
And 15, 25.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Okay. Then I'll start swinging at Goblin 3.
Fennec makes his way across to a large cluster of the goblins. You see that the one that's kind of behind them is a little bit bigger than the rest of them and appears to be directing the attack. Fennec, you cut down one of his apparent bodyguard.
All right. Then I pound my shield in front of them and ready myself.
We scampers up, take cover in. No, not at all. That'll work. He's in the square with Canoe. He takes cover in Canoe again so that they shoot arrows or something. He's safe. Still. Yeah, he can just throw at this one. He'll throw at one of the other ones. Weed doesn't manage to kill a goblin in one blow, but he does injure it significantly. Right. Now some of the goblins get to go. Let's see. Goblin 1 kind of steps to the side of Fennec and begins to slash with its smaller scimitar. But Fennec's able to easily deflect the blow. Goblin 10 fires a short bow at Darkassin. Manages to hit. I imagine Darkassin has something to say about the damage. Ow. Oh, you don't have deflect yet, do you? That's right.
Level 4.
I think it's level 3, but he's multi-class. Yep. So that arrow strikes Darkassin in the thigh, drawing blood. Just a little. Nothing to worry about, I'm sure. This guy. I forgot to put this one on the map. Oh, I did. Whoops. I guess he's over here now. Hmm, 80 feet. Can he... Oh yeah, definitely. Fires short bow at Fennec, but it bounces off his armor. Did I miss this one too? Oh no, I didn't. This one fires at Bran. The arrow strikes.
That's a hit.
You manage to deflect most of it, but it nicks you slightly. One kind of also steps kind of forward and slashes his scimitar at Fennec. But once again, Fennec is able to deflect, parry the goblin's much clumsier blows.
I have to have at least 5 attacks to hit me.
This one will fire at Bran too. That one goes wide, thunking into the side of one of the canoes. Goblin 5 will fire his short bow at Fennec. And this one will actually land a hit. 5th attack, I think. Though it barely damages him. Just kind of taking a nick off of a piece of his arm. Goblin 6 will attempt to avenge his friend that Darkassin cut down, but Darkassin is able to duck underneath this arrow as it goes flying by. The one in front of Darkassin drops his short bow, draws out his scimitar, and slashes at him with it, managing to land the hit and dealing a significant and bloody wound to Darkassin as this goblin sticks the scimitar into his gut. You think it missed any vital organs, but that won't be good in the long run, that's for sure. This one will also fire his short bow at Darkassin and scamper backwards. This one. They'll both. Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
They chitter to each other in their tongue as they fight.
All right. I will move here. That's 20 feet. We're gonna lunge that goblin and try to get him with a stab. Okay. I continue my movement right here, and bonus action healing word on myself.
Nice.
You can bonus action healing word?
Yeah, that's why healing word is
Correct.
good. It's a bonus action.
Yep.
Bonus action and it's ranged.
And it's yeah, exactly.
I just never realized that it was bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
I think I gotta look closer at my spells.
But remember, you can only cast one spell that's not a cantrip
Mm-hmm.
per turn, even if it's a bonus action. So you can't healing word and cure wound.
Oh, should I have not been able to cast healing word and heat metal in that same round like I did?
Oh shoot, you should not have been able to. That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll note that for the future.
All right, yeah. Sounds like we did that part wrong. Okay.
In previous editions, there was no such rule. So
Indeed.
if it was a free action, you could do it freely.
I think Azaka will pull out her longbow and begin firing at the goblins that are more distant. We'll see 2 arrows that hit trees in the way instead. She'll kind of take up a central position. Belsar.
Set behind Darkassin and rest a hand on his shoulder briefly as he channels the power of his god. As soon as I find my damn sheet again, here it is. Sorry. There's so much shit on the tracker that I couldn't pick up the dice and use them at the same time.
That's fine. You can also use his icon on the upper left side of the screen. You can drag it onto that as well.
Yeah, I tried that. It just dropped the dice there.
Weird. Sometimes it's awkward about it. In any case, Darkassin is greatly healed by the light of comet. No longer bleeding. The arrows forcing their way out of him. And the scimitar strike healing itself.
As soon as he completes the spell, Balasar turns to guard Darkassin's back.
Nice.
So I act as cover if any of the goblins are going to fire from across the way.
It's true. What will Kawasha do? He'll say, "Oh, Batiri, they are such a nuisance." And he will move. He'll move to here and then throw a small blob of flame at one of them as he approaches. It just barely singes the goblin. The larger one seems, let's see, what's it going to do? It spits some sort of command to its friends and then surges forward to slash at Fennec with its scimitar. First attack misses, but then it makes another strike that appears to do so clumsily. Oh. Back to Darkassin. Dropping his dagger and pulling out his rapier, Darkassin gets ready to fight in earnest. Cutting down the goblin in front of him. And then preparing to defend himself from further attack. Fennec.
I'm going to take a swing at the goblin trying to flank him. Missing it. He's going to action surge and take a swing at the other minor goblin by him. Also missing.
Despite his best efforts, the goblins kind of chitter and laugh. Their wooden masks bouncing and making it difficult to tell what's their body and what isn't.
That's my turn.
Low-level fighters.
Need my multi-attacks.
Weed continues to sling bullets, nuts rather, at the goblin he had attacked before. Landing another hit and finishing it off. Indeed. Gives a little whistle of victory, like the sound air makes when passing through two blades of grass. Then it's the goblins again. They begin their assaults. To circle around Fennec, tripping as he does so, falling over his own weapon in his attempt to strike. Goblin 10 looks concerned that Darkassin is no longer holding any weapons and attacks him, though Darkassin's defense will allow him to have a disadvantage, or that Goblin has disadvantage. Which causes, in his panic, he shoots the short bow arrow directly into the ground in front of him. It continues to make its way around the small pond. As it goes after firing off the arrow. Clearly not wanting to be anywhere near Balsar or Darkassin. 11. Let's see, this one was shot at by Kawasha, so it returns the favor. An arrow striking in Kawasha's, bouncing off Kawasha's thigh. Thin trail of a wound. Small but significant. And then it will bring more to this map. No, it'll also begin making, actually it'll begin to make its way towards the north. Goblin 4. Oops, I think I just skipped Goblin 2. I did. This is another one of the ones fighting Fennec. It misses as well. Goblin 4 is the one fighting Bran, rather. This one, Scimitar manages to land, wounding the Aarakocra Bard. Fires a short bow at Kawasha. Misses. And also scampers to the north. Dash. Nope. Cool. Disadvantage. Shoots an arrow at Casson. Oh, man, that patient defense is getting work done for you.
Well, I'm also providing cover, aren't I?
Nope, not from that direction. These are the ones on the other side.
Oh.
Then we're back to Bran.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with so for the record, casting a spell in melee that doesn't provoke, right?
Right, unless it's a ranged attack, in which case it still doesn't provoke, but it does get disadvantage.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna attack the one in front of me. Ooh, let's see here. Could I use inspiration?
You can.
How does using that actually work?
You just spend it, and then you get to make another roll.
Right, I mean, like on the sheet, how would I spend
I
it?
took it. There's a check mark on the top, but I just took it away for you.
Okay, and then is that a reroll or a bonus?
It's a reroll.
Okay.
It basically gives you advantage after the fact, so you can't use it on rolls that you already had advantage on.
Okay.
Well, that's much better. A good
Alright.
expense.
All right, I'm turning this into a flourish is why I was wanting to do that. Defensive. So then I'm gonna move right there. Unfortunately, my AC only gets bumped to 16, but I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on myself.
Nice.
I'm back.
Okay.
Welcome back.
There we go.
Bran neatly cuts the goblin's throat with his rapier, and in the same movement, his wings propel him forward across in a blaze of color as he swirls around and ends up standing next to Fennec with the other goblins. Azaka will fire more arrows. Yes, that's a good call. Not like that, she won't. Good word, Azaka. Come on.
Just go back to your sword.
Apparently. She mutters what is no doubt some sort of Chultan swear word, giving a distinctly feline growl. Belisar.
Right, so not really in range to be able to do anything in melee, so Darkcassin instead is going to raise his mace to the sky and propel out some magic missiles.
Oh yeah. You can do that.
Pew pew.
Just casting at level 1.
When you cast a spell using a slot of second level or higher, creates more than one dart. Oh, well, I can do it as a level 2 then, because I haven't. I mean, this
Sweet.
combat's just about over, and I don't think I'm going to need to do any massive healing.
Sweet. You send out 4 darts.
All at one target, or can I split them?
You can do them one at a time and split them.
Okay.
Oh, no, they strike simultaneously. So you do have to pick which ones you're sending them at beforehand. Sorry. But you can't split them up. It's just you have to decide.
Well,
you
I was
start
going
rolling
to
damage.
I was going to go 2 and 2 on goblins 1 and 2 that are flanking Fennec.
Cool. That'll work.
All right, so magic missile. So, like such. Oh, except for I didn't put it on the target, did I? Whoops. So apply that to Goblin 1, and then I'll do the one to Goblin 2. Wherever my combat tracker went, there we go. And pick it up, and second level, and Goblin 2.
Doesn't quite take it out.
I serve a magic deity.
Empowered by Bahamut's arcane might, the bolts of force strike out, striking down one of the goblins on the northern edge and severely wounding another. Anything else?
I
don't think so.
gonna position
I guess you can move.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna position myself to be more useful to others.
The Sternquash is able to cross the distance and swing his shillelagh at the goblin. Striking it down with a single blow. Boss looks concerned. Nonetheless, continues to attack. I think he'll turn towards Bran, seeing how he'll do. That enemy. We'll keep in mind the AC is in fact one higher, though it doesn't matter on the first attack. And it makes a second attack as well, though once again, its movements as it attempts to bring the scimitar back around are clumsy. Nonetheless, it manages to just almost by accident strike Bran once more, though for only a little bit more damage. And it calls out in its tongue again.
What do goblins speak?
Goblin.
Gobbledygook?
They speak Goblin. What's going on? Yeah. Casson?
Is this thing that I'm on, is it a tree or what is it? Like
Yeah, it's like tree and heavier underbrush, so it does cause double movement to move through it.
Okay, so what if I moved towards this pond thing where it's like halfway off of it? Would that,
That'd be fine.
so this would be normal movement?
Yeah, that's fine.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. And he's gonna draw his quarterstaff where he's moving and pummel both those bastards, hopefully killing them.
What elf monks so fast? So fast.
Very nice.
Yes. What?
Unarmed mist, you're going.
Excellent. Well, you were able to take out one of the two goblins. The other one's still facing you, however. Phoenix, go.
Fennec's gonna take a swing.
Wait a moment.
Uh,
Wait a moment.
That is a crit.
It's a crit.
I am champion fighter, so I've
Oh,
improved critical.
there is a way to do that, but hold on.
Uh.
There is one thing Goblin Boss will do, and that is definitely surprise. It switches place with the other goblin. It like pushes it in the way of your attack. So you will apply the damage to Goblin 2, please. And it won't do it automatically. Just roll on. Yeah, that'll work. It doesn't matter. You got it. Sweet.
What a jackass.
Throwing his compatriot onto Fennec's blade.
Then I just turn and stare down the goblin boss, like, not gonna help you.
So to illustrate this, Weed throws a nut and it hits the Goblin Boss upside the head. Doesn't kill him, but definitely distracts him for a moment. Goblin 10 drops his short bow.
He was too busy imagining or seeing his compatriot get eviscerated, thinking that, hey, that almost was me.
Actually, the goblin like tucks itself up into its mask and rolls backwards, moving so quickly and strangely that Darkassin cannot get an opportunity attack against it.
What a weird ass disengage.
And then
They're
fires its
weird.
sharp bow at him.
They're weird ass goblins.
Oh yeah, you better believe it.
Goblins of cunning action.
So it rolls backwards about 30 feet across the relatively open expanse of this part of the jungle, and then fires an arrow at him when it rights itself. Castle laughs. It's like, yeah, good one, buddy.
Yeah, what is this? The Goblin Circus?
Whoop, 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 whoop. Pew.
The other goblin hurries over to the boss and slams its scimitar towards Fennec, managing to land a hit and wounding Fennec lightly. Brand's turn.
All right. See, I'm gonna cast Healing Word on myself first, then I'm gonna do a thing. It's gonna be a level 2 spell slot this time. Whoop. And then let's see. So that is the boss. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get him, try to stab him. That's unfortunate.
The boss deflects Brand's attack with a combination of the edge of his wooden mask and his own scimitar.
Weird. All right. That's a turn for me.
Asaka will hit something. She indeed drops her longbow and surges forward to strike down one of these goblins with a goddamn scimitar.
Hey!
There you go. And then she'll step farther forward into its square, over its dead body, apparently. Make her second attack on the boss. So that one, of course. Belsar, only 2 goblins left.
1, 2, 3. And I'm actually going to swing my weapon for a change. Yay. I think that is my most boring turn of this entire campaign.
You poke the goblin boss with the head of your mace. It
Bonk.
doesn't enjoy it.
So, in completely unrelated news, apparently Idris Elba has been signed on to play the villain in a new movie called Hobbs and Shaw, which is a spin-off of the Fast and Furious series.
I saw that earlier.
Nice.
So Idris Elba is going to be the bad guy in that movie.
Badass. We need more Idris Elba villain characters.
Oh.
Kawasha chucks a ball of flame at the goblin boss. It strikes it kind of in the back. It's injured now. And it cries out in goblin.
I speak up and say they're gonna retreat.
It does kind of, yeah, indeed. It does kind of the same thing that the other goblin did, rolling backwards into its mask.
Opportunity attack?
Nope.
Disengaging.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And then further, like, making a break for it towards the edge of the jungle. I'll just put it on the edge. So it's actually off the edge of the map. Anybody with a ranged attack or who can move more than, what is it, like, Palisar.
I mean, I could.
Yeah, it's 50. Anybody who can get up to 50 feet of movement. He's like 10
I
feet
could
further
fly it.
off
I
the
could
map.
fly 50.
Yeah, so Bran will get another attack on him, and then anybody else who wants to do a ranged attack. Meanwhile, Darkassin, still facing his foes on the other side of the pond. Can't quite finish off his goblin foe with the quarterstaff blow. Perhaps the unarmed strike that follows will indeed finish it off. Fennec, if you can move 50 feet or conjure some sort of ranged attack to use, you can make one more attack on the boss before he gets away.
Fennec's gonna drop his sword and shield, pull out his crossbow, and shoot.
Nice.
Missing.
But alas, the bolt strikes a tree. Don't think he can get close enough to not have disadvantage. Yeah, as far as he can get. But he'll stack anyway. What's the advantage? Bran.
Okay.
It's up to you whether you want to do a ranged attack or a normal attack.
Do a normal.
Since you can fly the distance between.
Just kind of hover about like 5 feet off. You know, just kind of kind of glide through the air and just try to finish him. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, I miss. I guess let's see. How bad does he look? Let's see.
He has less than half. He has less than half his total hit points. That is the information you have. He has several wounds that are bleeding. He also curses at you as you attack him.
Oh, I cursed him back. Oh wait, that's not.
You're the only
that's not a
person who can
bonus
understand
action.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Never mind. I was gonna say I can't cast.
Yeah, I
anything
don't think
that's
you got anything
offensive,
else.
So I'm gonna use a healing word to just kind of top myself off in case he turns around and gets some crazy ass critical on me or whatever. Okay, that's my turn.
Azaka sighs, goes back, picks up her longbow. I hate Batiri, she says.
We hate them now too.
She finally hits it.
It's still not enough to take it out. Maybe the second arrow will. No, the second arrow misses. At least I hit it, she mutters to herself.
That's the spirit.
Balsar? It's 50 feet away from, despite appearances.
Let me double check something real quick. Oh, plenty.
Magic missiles?
Yeah, Balsar
Yeah.
Mace and
Under 20 feet.
yeah, fires out a couple of missiles at the boss.
You get 3 as a level 1 spell.
And it adds 1 additional missile for each level that you put onto it.
Yeah, but you're out of second level slot.
Well, yeah, I know I am.
Yeah.
I was just curious if that's how that worked.
Yeah, hell, you get up to 9th level, you can cast magic missile as a 9th level spell, unleash 11 d4 on some enemy. No roll to hit. Well, 11d4 plus
so-
11.
So it's 3d4, 3d4 plus 3, right?
Yep.
Okay. God damn it.
I don't think there's any way for this not to kill it. There isn't. So don't worry too much about the damage. Just
Oh, okay.
throw
Like
it.
even
There
if
you
they're
go.
all ones.
Yeah, even if they're all ones, it'll go off.
They weren't all ones. Oh, wow. It only adds the +1 on there. It didn't add the +3.
Yeah, you kind of have to roll them each separately because of how magic missile works. But yeah,
Oh, I gotcha.
nonetheless, that final blow manages to finish off the Batiri boss, leaving you not alone in the jungle, but certainly without enemies immediately before you once more. Unconventional tactics, says Kawasha.
Yeah, gets the job done.
We're an unconventional group.
Well, I meant the Batiri. But yes, us as well.
I want to loot them as well. See if there's any sort of like trinkets that belong in a museum.
You could take any of their masks that you like.
Okay, I have the Goblin Boss mask. Anyone opposed
Yeah.
to that?
No one speaks up.
I have no.
I'm not worried about having a mask. What does the
Are
mask
you
look
adding
like?
it to your inventory already? Cool.
Yep.
Here. Let me actually. Yeah. We'll add this in too. I don't know. Wait. 5. There you go.
How much weight did you say it has?
0.5. They're not heavy. Well, it's probably 1 actually. I'll change it to 1. There we go. Oh yeah, that is getting close to being a concern for you. Darkassin can take a mask as well. Excellent. Here, what I'm going to do is just put 2 on. Nope, Darkassin doesn't want a mask. Okay. They have short bows and scimitars if anybody wants one. But otherwise, they're not really carrying anything of worth, I'm afraid, being goblins in the jungle. You do get XP, though.
Yay, XP.
And that was also the second encounter of the day, so you are able to rest after that again before traveling further the next day.
Is anybody still injured?
We're about to rest.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't fully heal wounds.
It does. Long rest does.
Really, all of your wounds.
Yep.
Mhm.
Wow. So what is the point of prayer of healing then?
That's for when you don't have the opportunity to long rest.
And are doing like short.
A long
rests.
rest is 8 hours. Short rests are an hour.
Mm,
Prayer of healing is 10 minutes.
gotcha.
Also, prayer of healing. Oh no, it's not a ritual. I thought it was a ritual, but it is not. It'd be good.
But that heals like everybody around me, right?
It is true. Prayer of
to
healing is
6
quite handy in that
creatures.
way.
Yeah, okay.
6 creatures of your
Prayer of
choice.
healing, and I have Song of Rest. I think between those two,
Yeah, even in a short rest, you guys are pretty
short rest
good.
would be really strong for us. Yeah.
Plus, you can spend hit die during short rests. But yes, so far these are just like single encounters that you're running to in the jungle. When you actually get to a section where you're fighting multiple things in a row, I have more difficulty. In any case, want to make that survival check for the next day?
Sure do.
Don't forget to click advantage.
Actually, was literally mousing over it as you said that. Bloop. Good thing too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Today you were able to reach Mesro, but there's a chance for one more random encounter first. How do you know? You guys are getting crazy lucky with these random encounters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not very likely. All right, One moment as I check on something. As you're traveling through the jungle, Azaka suddenly holds up a hand and says, "Wait." Just outside the city of Mesro, you kind of see the ruins before you, and rolling up out of them, you see a thin line of blue mist on the ground. This is what I spoke of earlier to you, the bad monkey mist. We must avoid it. You could easily do so. But if you had not been traveling with someone so sharp-eyed, you might have had more difficulty. See, these guides are well worth the money. Especially since you're not paying for either of them.
Pretty much.
Totally worth,
Right.
totally worth every gold piece not spent.
Finally, you reach what remains of Mesro. The jungle kind of, well, it doesn't really clear out. You can see it's grown up quite a bit over what remains of the city, but just empty ruins stretch out for at least a mile before you. This was once truly a great metropolis, but over the century, a century or so, it has decayed. It appears from just glancing at it right now, from where you're standing on the edge, to be abandoned. You don't see anyone immediately, although it's a large area and it would take some time to explore. You also do not see any enemies blatantly moving around. It doesn't seem like it's full of undead. And Kwasha nods and says, "The mercenaries came through here, I think." We can explore the city, but I doubt we'll find much. The Flaming Fist does not leave much behind.
Okay. Do you have a map of the area?
I don't think I do, actually. Not precisely necessary in this case. It's just a huge kind of
Just
expanse of
basically we're
ruins.
skipping over it, kind of thing.
Well,
Or can
if
we
you
just, like, search
if you explore
briefly?
specific areas, I have maps, but I don't have an overall map of the city.
Got it. Okay. What are the different areas? I guess, like, could you?
I can
roughly
describe
categorize
kind
them?
of, yeah. So the ruins that are left behind are basically a circle, and there's four. Whoa,
Sorry.
it's okay. There's kind of four streets that go out from the center, from a large central plaza at the middle of the city, in each of the cardinal directions: northeast, south, and west. It is right up against the river, so you can see that there are old wharfs and crumbling vine-colored buildings. Most of it as well appears to be flooded, especially the southeast, the whole southeast section. So there's basically four quadrants: northeast, northwest, southwest, and southeast.
Okay. And south is facing us, or north is facing us?
You are coming from the southeast, or southwest, I mean. So you're headed northeast.
Got it. Okay. I'll search through southeast.
The flooded area? Southwest is the area that's right next to you guys as you arrive.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll do southwest then.
Are you guys splitting up, or are you all accompanying Bran as he attempts to dive into the ruins?
I will not accompany him in that dive.
Are you kind of just flying over, or are you going into any buildings, Bran?
I'd rather fly over it first and just see if I could spot anything from a distance, and then if it seems safe enough, I can get a little closer.
Great. Give me a perception check.
Perception. Got it. Okay. 15.
So I just roll some things. As you're flying over the city, you can see kind of near, in the southwest section, but near that central plaza, you see, it looks like there's like the light of a campfire in like a top floor of a 2-story building nearby. It looks
What
like
time of day is
someone
it?
is in there. This is in the let's see, this would probably be like in the early afternoon. So 1 or
Okay.
2. The worst heat of the day has passed by.
All right, I'm gonna try to approach from outside, like around one of the windows, and just try to like sneak up and get a better look.
Okay.
Just kind of play
Alright.
scout here.
Please roll stealth.
16.
Getting that things I need. 1 moment. You peek your head up over like a ledge of a window. You see 2 humanoids inside. One of them is human. An older man with graying hair, dressed in the reasonable sort of clothing you would expect an adventurer to wear, although perhaps more than you would expect one to wear in this weather.
You said the type of what kind of clothing that
He's
you
wearing
would
like
expect?
leather. He's wearing like leather armor, studded
light
leather armor, but he's also wearing like a significant amount of clothing over it, more than you would expect in this hot weather.
Okay.
He has a variety of weapons, and he's kind of sitting tending to a very small fire that sends up only a thin tendril of bluish smoke. Sitting across the fire from him is a different sort of creature. You don't really recognize what it is at first. It looks a bit like a lizard folk, but broader, more muscular. Its head is shaped differently. It has sort of like a protuberance coming off of the back of it. It looks a lot more, you would say, after experiencing some of Chult, it looks more dinosaur-like than lizard folk-like. And it has a large great sword strapped to its back and is wearing just a simple like brown tunic and cloak.
Okay, so like not exactly armored, but of course a creature like that's going to have natural armor, and then just a big great sword. Okay.
Yeah, it does look like it's
really
wearing a breastplate, actually. In
Okay.
addition, it has a shield as well.
A shield
Although
and a
it's not
great
like
sword?
it has
an
a
armbuckler,
long sword at
or-
its side too.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Sorry,
so
it's
you
not
can
a
fight
great
others,
sword. It's just a large long sword. My bad.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah.
And the man looks right at you as you poke your head over the ledge of the window. He smiles gently. He doesn't seem too concerned about your presence.
Oh, hello. Just getting a look at the what the flaming fist left behind. Are you well?
The Flaming Fist and others, would you like to join our fire, friend?
I would like to confer with my compatriots. There are quite a few of us.
Are there?
Yes, but I
There's a
suspect
bit of a dangerous edge to his voice as he asks that question.
Well, I don't mean that as any sort of overt threat or anything like that. It's just I don't suspect that you and I are that we are necessarily in opposition to one another. At least your reaction to my presence didn't seem to indicate that. So I'll confer with them.
His eyebrow
And-
lifts. You know who I am?
No. I'm afraid I don't.
Hmm.
You're
For
not.
the best, I suspect.
Well, I suppose you're not with the Flaming Fist, right?
Certainly not.
Ah, neither are we.
You may as well
Well-
bring your friends then. The rest of the city is abandoned.
How long have you been here?
Recently, just a few hours.
All right.
I come
Right.
here often, though.
Well, okay. I mean, I'm just. Is there anything else that he's wearing or has on him, or I'm assuming the lizard folk hasn't spoken up, but
No.
any kind of like sigil mark, anything that would kind of announce his affiliation or anything like that?
Make a perception check.
Mm.
He is wearing a badge that recognizes him as a harper. The harpers being.
Oh, okay. Out of character. Have I seen? Do I know that Darkassen's involved with them, or is he?
I believe Darkasson has mentioned that he got some information from them previously about a harper in the jungle that was carrying an evil artifact that they were looking for.
Okay, I file that one away.
I think it's a note somewhere.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll head back. I'll head back over to the rest of the group. And when I land, I'll approach Darkasson first and say, so I think there's a harper up there in that tower. He's got a large lizard folk looking fellow there with a great sword and a long sword. Actually, wait, no, sorry, you just said long sword. Never mind.
Yep,
With a long
my bad.
sword. But there are only 2 of them, and they have a fire, and they seem friendly. I just kind of shrug.
Well, he's a fugitive from the Harpers. They want this evil artifact that he's carrying back, but they don't trust that he won't fall into the wrong hands, as he decided to go it alone. Said he had a companion?
Looks kind of like looks like a lizard folk you might see here or there, except a little bit more dinosaur-like, I guess.
Interesting. Do you think we could take him?
All of us, sir, easily.
What makes
Though he
you
does look
think
pretty
that-
strong. He's
what
big
makes you-
like I kind of gesture at Fennec. He's big like him, muscular and like.
Well,
What makes you think this
Instead-
is the same man that you were told of?
it's a Harper out in the jungle. How many of those do you think there are?
Not many, Zaka snorts. Not enough, says Kawasha.
Well,
Maybe at least more than just one.
you don't have to take him by force, but I'm bound by honor to bring him back to the Harper's fold. I owe them. Let's see what he has to say, at least.
Okay, once they're deciding to go into the city, I'm gonna fly back out and just keep an eye on that area to make sure they're not moving around.
Yeah, they. You still see the thin trail of smoke. You'd have to get closer to be certain they're still in the building, but you didn't see them leave.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna like peek through the window again. I'm just gonna just kind of watch the general area in case there's anything else, any other gotchas that come along. Just kind of still play forward scout for the rest of the group.
Back in a minute, gentlemen. I have to use the restroom.
All right.
So yeah, are we going to the fire?
Yep. You make your way through the ruined city of Mesro and into the building where you believe Artis Cimber is making his camp. You see that it is much the same as it is much as Brand described, although as you enter, Artis, the human man, has drawn out a longbow and has it kind of resting ready to use, although he's not wielding it directly. He's still sitting. And as well, his lizard-like companion has drawn the blade that was upon his back and has it kind of sitting on his lap, resting across his knees, ready to use as well.
Okay, can you describe real quick? They're on the second story of a building, right?
Yes, they're like inside the second story of a building. It's only a
Okay.
2-story building. It was like some sort of home beforehand. They're like in a bedroom, basically.
All right. Once I'm aware that the rest of the group is there, approaching, I will go up the window, but I'll stay quiet and just kind of watch.
Okay. Artist just kind of looks over at you and smiles, says, your friend's arriving now?
Yeah, that's any moment now. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll get along just fine.
My friend here will know if you have ill intent.
Oh, it's good to have friends like that. Well, seeing as how you aren't undead and you're not Batari, I don't think we're going to have too many problems. At least I assume not.
Let's hope not. And that's when everybody else reaches kind of
Agreed.
like the room.
All right, I just let them take the lead. I let Darkastin just kind of lead the whole thing.
I've returned.
Welcome back. You
You
reach
want-
the room that have the people in it. Here's some arts.
You wouldn't happen to be artist Simber, would you?
I'm sorry.
I suppose that depends on who's asking.
That's a yes.
Your friends, those who harp, are looking for you. They say you have something that's very evil and very dangerous, and that you went out into the jungle all by yourself. Seems very foolish.
I went out in the jungle 100 years ago, he says, which is somewhat surprising as he looks like he's in his like early 40s and is clearly human.
What?
Darkastin will kind of take a pause at that and kind of look over at the cleric. Like,
Jay said he'd be right back. Oh no, he's
Oh,
back.
no, I'm
Never
sorry.
mind.
I'm
Oh.
back. Why am I getting the sidelong glance?
I'm gonna insight that comment.
Absolutely.
That sounds like bullshit to me.
Nice roll.
Darkassin, you're certain he's telling the truth.
Huh.
I've been waiting. I can handle the ring, he says.
It's a ring, is it? Can I see it?
I do not know you. Perhaps we should start with introductions.
That does seem the polite way.
You have me at a disadvantage, after all.
Oh, my name is Dark Cass, and I'm a bounty hunter sent to find you.
They
Perhaps-
sent a bounty hunter after me.
Perhaps you should
Well-
have worded that a little better.
What do you mean? We found him, didn't we?
Right, but when you declare yourself as a bounty hunter and you're looking for him, it could mean dead or alive.
Look at this guy.
Greetings, I'm investigating you.
Well, I mean, it's not a normal contract. It's more of a favor to the Harpers. But I mean, this guy clearly has a death wish. I don't see why.
I do not have a death wish, he says. The opposite.
A life
But
wish.
you do know there is a death curse going on, that if you fall, you won't be getting back up anytime soon.
I am aware of this. It is a
Clearly,
great
he's
dark.
lived 100 years so far.
More than that, he says, scoffing.
So why are you running from your friends?
I'm not running, I'm waiting.
What are you waiting for? Fennec Foe, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Artis Simber. And this is my friend Dragonbait. He nods at the other creature who has remained silent.
Do you say Dragonbane?
Dragonbait, actually.
Dragonbait.
Huh.
Balsar kind of looks down his snout
Sorry.
at Dragonbait and
Goblin. Artis Simber.
I just like to provide text spellings. I suppose I'm not getting out of this without further explanation.
At the very least.
I am awaiting the return of my love. There is not many details I can or should share with you about that, strangers. But suffice to say, if I live long enough, she will return. And she will return to this land. And when she is, I will be waiting for her so we can finish our life together as we originally.
I'm sitting on the edge of the window now.
Yeah, this is
leaning in.
obviously interests Bran a great deal.
I was like, this sounds. Well, that sounds bloody romantic. Are you sure there's not a good story to be had behind that?
There is.
Lovers who would wait for decades for one another.
Her duty took her away from the place.
Oh, you can't just be so vague about it now. You have to give us details. Come on, spill it.
Make a persuasion check, Bran.
All right. Hold on one sec. There it is. Not bad, not bad.
That's pretty dang good. What's your name? He says, pointing at Bran.
Oh,
Not
me?
really pointing,
I'm
but gesturing.
Bran Blackfeather. Pleasure to meet you. I am a bard, I will note it.
Ah, that explains it. Are you with the Harpers then?
No, not with them. Heard good things though.
You should consider it.
Actually, have I heard good things?
Yeah, probably. I mean, the Harpers are generally good aligned, although they're definitely chaotic good.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I am also
And they definitely
chaotic good.
love heroics. So
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no. I stand by my words and then.
very well. I picked up this ring some time ago. I do not use it often because it contains a malevolent intelligence. I've been able to fight it off for many, many years now. I am not concerned about that. However, it does allow me to live much longer than I normally would. Without it, I would begin to age normally. It wouldn't catch up to me, at least, but I cannot be certain that my love will return within this lifetime. I may have to wait for the next. You see, this city, he gestures around and kind of out the window towards the ruins of Mesros, sweeping out beneath you and around you. This is not Mesro.
No.
This is a facsimile, not quite an illusion, but
Someone built all of this to confuse travelers.
indeed, Mesro, the chosen that remained within it after Raznazi's betrayals, and foreseeing the coming spell plague and what has followed, the troubles that Faerun and Chult especially have suffered. They were taken to another place. Eventually, when this land is settled once more, they will return, and the city will be here once more, as full of life and light and love as it ever was. And then I will be waiting here.
Where did this city go to?
If I knew that, I would be there, away, a place we cannot reach.
Well, you're in luck. It just so happens our aim is to end this death curse.
I do not know why I am telling you this, except that my friend here says you are very trustworthy. Notably, Dragonbait has not said anything. And
Well, your friend is a great judge of character.
and I have a certain
And
weakness
quite
for
the talker too.
heroes. What brings you to Chult other than hunting me down? I can't believe that's all.
Well,
We're trying to
well,
find.
before we get on to that, are you communicating telepathically with your friend there?
Oh, not telepathically. We just know each other well enough. He unfortunately cannot speak common, but or any other tongue for that matter, but he can understand it well enough.
Where is he from?
That's a complicated question, but he is a part of a race which has also long departed these lands. He remains to protect it. I help him. He helps me. We do what we can in between our times of waiting. We go out into the jungle and help those we can find. Then we return here to see if the city has returned yet.
Artis, I don't mean to be a bearer of bad news, but you know that there are quite a few people other than us that are looking for you. Not all of them are good people.
The Harpers, the Zentrum, the Red Wizards. Yes, I'm aware.
There were rumors of people in Chult, specifically not affiliated to my knowledge, looking for you as well.
Why now? Why now? He asks.
Who knows? Maybe because you got sloppy and left breadcrumbs. They obviously know you're out here. They just don't know where.
Perhaps, though I suspect it is more the interference of the gods.
Who did you piss off?
Quite the opposite, once more. I am also chosen. Anybody who wants to can make a religion check.
Oh, wouldn't be the cleric if I
Would
did.
it be for, like for him saying chosen?
Yeah. You can make it untrained as well if you like. This is
Okay,
this is a fairly common knowledge thing, though.
Accurate.
Better
Bardic
rolls will
knowledge,
get
yeah.
more info.
Would my Dragonborn heritage or Bahamut school give me any advantage on?
No, not on this case.
Okay.
Weirdly, Belisar knows the least about this, but you all know the following at least. Chosen have become much more common lately, and chosen are individuals imbued with divine power of at least one of the deities. Basically, it gives them power comparable to demigod. They are essentially the physical representatives of the gods on the surface of Faerun.
Oh. That's pretty cool.
Fennec got a 20, and Bran also. Oh no, that was his early roll.
That was
Fennec
that
got
was a
20,
natural 20.
and Darkassan also rolled quite well. So I guess if you got 20 or higher, you can recognize that woven into like the lapels of his cloak. You can see small holy symbols, and you recognize them as belonging to the deity, the goddess Oral, the goddess of winter.
How do you spell that?
I will spell it in the chat.
She's evil, right?
She's neutral evil. She is often, I mean, she's an elemental type of deity, a deity of fury,
right.
so, but yeah, she is herself evil. And I'll also note to those of you who rolled, I don't know, 15 or higher, so I guess that's everyone but Jay in this case, weirdly. Being chosen doesn't necessarily mean you worship that deity, though it usually does. They can pick anyone to be their chosen.
Like a non-follower, just to fuck with them.
So, you're chosen by this god, but you're waiting for your love in a place that no longer exists, but I assume is on another plane. Why not avail yourself of your organization and find a wizard to help you? Why sit and wait?
It is what she asked of me. I do not wish to endanger them. They have left to protect themselves. I am patient.
And arrogant if you think that you can stand against all the evil that's going to bend its way towards you.
I make no illusions of being able to survive forever, just long enough.
That's quite the story you have.
That's only a small part of it.
Well, imagine being here for 100 years, as you claim. So, back to just waiting and just holding out here then, is it?
I know these lands well. As I said, did you come here just to find me? If so, you have succeeded. Though I am afraid, if I have not made that clear, that I will not be returning with you.
We actually came looking for whatever's causing this death curse that's plaguing the area.
Yeah, a different evil artifact.
Yes, I can assure you, the ring I bear does not have such effects as that. Though I've noticed there's been much more undead activity of late in Schult. The necromantic energies are gathering.
From the information we were given, it seems that whatever's causing this curse may be the artifact Soulmonger. Ever heard of it?
Hmm. The Soulmonger. I have not heard of such an artifact until recently. I believe the Red Wizards are seeking it as well. I encountered a group of them heading into the jungle.
Really?
We were able to slay several of them, but the rest escaped, of course. Wizards
Two
are
of you were
difficult to
able
deal with.
The two of you were able to slay several wizards just yourselves. You
Well,
must be quite
a
good.
wizard and several mercenaries.
Ah,
Hmm.
uh, you wouldn't happen to. How long ago was this? And you wouldn't happen to know where they went, would you?
They were
Or-
headed southwest from here, south of the Eldani Basin. Are you familiar?
Well, I'm not. I look at the rest of the group though.
Kawasha
Plotting map.
explains that is the area we saw to the west from atop Firefinger.
Hmm.
I do not know if they were headed to the heart of. Our artist continues. I do not know if they were headed to the heart of Ubtao. That is the Earth Moat. Did you see that as well? Or if they were
Yes.
headed further south from there. But in that direction, they seem to believe the Soulmonger could be found.
That's our next bearing, I believe, once we visit Cure Sabal.
Ah, you're headed to speak with your cousins, he says, looking at Bran.
Well, I suppose you might say that. I was going to ask you if you had any particular opinions about them, if you'd encountered them yourself.
I try to avoid large groups. It is not wise to bring in artifacts such as the one I carry into population centers. Although there are not so many living in Kirsabal. I see their patrols. Many for Aarakocra, perhaps. It's not as many as, say, Port Nyanzaru, and certainly not as many as Mesro once held. I would suspect they are trustworthy. Wouldn't you agree? He looks towards the one called Dragonbait, and the lizard dinosaur-like creature nods slowly. It is south of here, down the river along. I know much of the ways of this jungle. I've spent enough time here, at least. Is there anything else that you're seeking? Any places? I may know of them. I'm happy to help, though I cannot, of course, go with you. It would be extremely unwise, I think, to expose that which I bear to that which you see.
Well, anything you can tell us in purpose of our goals, I suppose, would be quite right useful.
Hmm.
So we were going south to Kirsabal, and then after that, where were we going next after that again?
To the Earth Mountain, I thought, or the basin.
Right.
Not sure if we really had a plan after
Yes.
this.
Yeah, we were heading towards that because that was the most likely place where that thing was.
Something that artists seem to confirm if the Red Wizards are looking in that direction as well.
The Aarakocra there are mostly monks. I do not know what deity precisely they serve or believe they serve, but they are well ordered and fairly well informed. They may be able to provide you with additional guidance. They have surely seen more than me. It's much easier for them to travel than for most of us.
Don't I know it?
Would you like to camp here with us tonight?
I mean, is that all right?
I don't see why not, as long as you have no intention of dragging me off to Port Nyanzaru to sell me off to the Harpers or Zentarum.
Why would I drag you off to Port Nyanzaru, sell you to the Harpers? You're a Harper.
I am still, though they may not consider it so.
They still do. They're just concerned for your safety.
Well, perhaps
And
carrying
obviously
word
everything you
back to them
carry.
will be enough.
Maybe. We'll see. Are you sure we can't convince you to come defeat this other evil artifact?
As I said, I have found that putting more evil artifacts into a single location tends to exacerbate problems rather than resolving them.
And you're traipsing out in the jungle full of undead ape things, four-armed apes.
I am
Well, he does
still
seem
looking
capable.
for answers, he says.
Besides, the man seems capable. He's a wizard slayer.
Sure.
Well, I have no qualms with camping.
Neither do I. Let's camp here.
Indeed. All right. Okay. I mean, you guys aren't, this isn't a trick, is it? I'm asking out of character as the Keon.
Oh, I mean,
I don't think it's a trick.
No, I've got nothing.
I don't think it's a trick. I'm more worried about him doing something than us doing something. But I'm not really worried about him. He does. I mean, he seems on the up and up, and I'm assuming. I mean, out of character from a meta perspective, I would assume that if there was something not right about him, that you'd give us some kind of chance to notice.
Probably, yes. Also, somebody rolled insight earlier.
Yeah.
By the way, Darkassin was certain that he wasn't lying, but Bran and Fennec less so about living so long.
That's a fair point. Maybe.
You weren't certain.
Yeah. Let me know when we get to the watch, dividing up watch and stuff.
Yes. Well, that's pretty much now.
Okay. What's his name? Artist. What does artist propose we do?
Well, dragon bait does not require sleep. if one of you would like to stay up with him, but I trust him to look over my slumber.
Okay, so he's just gonna go straight to sleep. Not worry about it.
Well, I mean, he'll stay up for a little bit, but it seems like Dragonbait is the one who keeps watch usually.
Got it.
I should say he requires much less sleep than us and will not need to sleep tonight.
I'll spend some portion of time during the night staying awake.
Absolutely. What would you like to accomplish during this time? Are you just keeping watch, or?
Keep watch, but also I'll try to, I don't know.
Remembering that to get a rest, although it doesn't matter that much since you didn't fight anything, but to get a long rest, you do have to, rest. You don't have to sleep the whole time, but can't do anything too laborious.
Right, yeah, I wasn't going to do anything too laborious. I was maybe just going to try to, I don't know, perhaps in a futile manner, strike up a bit of a conversation with Dragonbait, or at least try to get a feel for how he acts, I guess. I don't know.
Great. We can do that.
I don't usually encounter people that they don't talk. It's like, oh, that's very interesting. I wonder how he gets by, that kind of thing.
Well, how do you do so? How do you approach him? What do you say?
I see if he's interested in playing a game. Game of cards. I offer to, or actually no, we'll do. I try to teach him a dice game, like a pirate's dice game, Liar's Dice, and see how he tries to communicate.
Pardon me. Here we go. Just a moment, please. No. Okay, so you offer to play a dice game with him.
Yeah, pretty much.
He nods and flares his nostrils, and you get the scent. A strange scent arises in the room. Lemons. It smells like lemons.
What? Like he exuded lemons? What?
It definitely seems like that. Yes.
I don't understand what that means. What are lemons? I'm trying to say I need to keep my scurvy at bay.
To
I try to
ask
get
that
a feel for
question,
sense
the
of
smell,
humor, too.
the scent shifts, and from lemons, and you begin to smell roses with a strange tinge of baked ham.
Can I get an insight check or something?
Yeah, certainly.
I'm gonna go a different way with this, JP. I'm going to, I'm gonna try to detect the presence of magic.
Excellent. With detect magic?
Yeah.
Useful. Wow, are you focusing on Dragonbait here?
Well, I'm attempting to focus in the direction that the scent appears to be coming.
Okay. You don't sense any magic involved. But one sec.
Wait a minute. Wait, are you still there, JP?
Yep.
Is this how you? Is this why you're called Dragonbait? Do you do this to lure your enemies in?
The smell of lemons returns, and he looks like he's like smiling a little bit.
All right.
He's amused by this idea.
I've got it. Lemons for yes. Ham and Rose for no.
He shakes
Sound
his
good?
head.
Oh.
Then he thinks about it, like as you say, sounds good, and he's like, okay. Like at first he's shaking his head, but then he's like, oh, okay, I can do that. And then Jay, you also notice that with detect magic, that his sword is lit up. It is
Dragon bait sword is?
yes. As you're looking at him, you can see that his rather large longsword is glowing fiercely with. Let's see, what school of magic would it be? I believe it's kind of evocation and abjuration.
Fascinating. As he continues to have his gaze upon this sword, I use thaumaturgy to make my eyes actually glow.
Oh, fancy.
Okay, so you're awake with us, right? You're sitting across from us, or
Yeah,
At the moment,
so
yeah.
it would seem.
okay.
Your sword has a very fascinating.
At that, the scent of wood smoke exudes from Dragon Bait, and he nods very clearly, solemnly.
I mean, no disrespect, just observing. And that at that, my eyes return to normal, and I release the concentration for detect magic.
He watches you for a moment. The smell of wood smoke eventually gives way once more to lemons, though it's a bit mingled.
I reach into my pack and I actually pull out my dragon chest and I say, perhaps you'd want to try this.
Sorry, what did you pull out? I couldn't quite hear
My
that.
dragon chest set.
Ah. His eyes widen at that. He nods, clearly excited. Scent of lemons
Less of a
grows
game
stronger.
of chance type of fellow, and more of a game of strategy.
Well, there are chance games in the dragon chest set as well. It's got dice and decks of cards, for like 3 dragon ante, for example.
Oh, you got like a whole game set. Nice.
Yeah, and I'm proficient with the gaming set, so I can add my proficiency bonus to any ability checks I make to play a game with that set.
Okay, so you guys are going to play this game with Dragon Bait. Can I ask just kind of what your like meta goal is? I can distill this down a little.
Mostly, I'm just trying to get a feel for him since he seems to communicate via odor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to better understand. And clearly, we've already determined, or at least I've already determined, that lemon means he is either pleased or at least an affirmation of something.
That's kind of what it seems like. Or it just seems like kind of the default, like calm odor, calm smell.
So,
I don't
so
know.
you
but
guys are basically just trying to figure out how he works.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
well,
that's what
how
I
he
want out of it, too.
communicates at the very least.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I've been trying to get at too.
Are you proficient with gaming sets, Bran?
No, I don't think so.
You can play games,
But
you're just not.
I'm still interested in
specifically.
trying.
Great. So Belsar, could you make just roll a d20 for me here? I'll add your proficiency bonus and something else to it. We'll say wisdom, probably. Okay, so +4, so 17. Pretty good. Through the course of playing the games and the conversations, you are able to figure out what several of his scents mean. And through the conversation itself, you're kind of able to determine that he's some kind of holy warrior. Obviously, he can't tell you like for who or anything because the scents don't really cover that. But he's some sort of servant. Actually,
What?
he you're able to determine that he actually is reluctant to play games of chance because of some sort of history related to his deity, whatever deity he follows. Because there's a sort of sadness when you like offer to play dice with him, and concern, like he's nervous about it, but he's much more comfortable with something that's predictable, like Dragon Chess.
Okay.
And at that, Artis is nearby, kind of sleeping, and he kind of rolls over a little bit. He says, he's kind of clearly being like teasing his friend, and he says, Dragonbait's got a lost love too, I'm afraid. And Dragonbait kind of scowls at him, and the smell of the light smell of baked bread fills the air. And Artis
you're
kind of
awake.
waves him off and rolls back over.
Well, I've been trying to figure out what the scents mean, and well, I assume, do you mean gambling when you say lost love? Is that what you mean?
Yes. That Dragonbait nods. He's capable of nodding and shaking his head, like he understands common and can gesture.
Sorry, friend. I
It's
meant
just
no
more
offense.
complex stuff he can't. He waves his hand as well, and the scent of honeysuckle accompanies it.
I'm afraid sailors like me are quite uncultured. We play games of chance because, well, perhaps some of them, I wouldn't speak for myself here, can't wrap their head around games of strategy and cunning. Not true of all of them, but
He
a bit of a
nods,
culture,
and then
I suppose you might say.
he holds up his hand and spreads out his fingers with like the forearm the back of his arm facing you, and then shuts them all, and then like twists his arm to kind of like make it seem like his hand isn't there. And then he points, and then he holds his like arm against his chest, and then points towards towards the sky. Jay, you can make a religion check.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of stare, just to look. I just look over at Belisar.
Like,
God damn it.
dang it, man, you just can't. Belisar's not well educated on
Worst
non-Bahamut religions.
Ever.
You get the idea that he's trying to tell you what god he worships, but you don't know what god it is.
I don't suppose it would be too much of a reach for me to roll, right?
Yeah,
Because it's kind of
definitely.
specific.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
And then he kind of just shrugs.
The sky snake. I don't know.
Shakes his head. No. As if that alarmed him. Indeed, the scent of violets fills the air for a moment.
Alright, violets. Okay, understood. I think.
Through the course of the conversation, I will share with you. Let's see. I think the best way for me to do this is just show you a picture in Discord chat. But basically,
Wait.
baked bread is anger, brimstone is confusion, ham is like nervousness, honeysuckle is tenderness, lemons is pleasure or joy, roses is sadness, the scent of tar is victory. You get that one after he beats you in Dragon Chess once.
Nice.
Danger or fear is violets, and wood smoke is devotion
That's
or piety.
awesome. I'm gonna ask him. I'm guessing the answer is no, but I want to ask him if there's anything he writes, anything. Is there any language that he can write or mark or something that can be put onto paper, right?
He nods.
Could you show me? And I make sure I have comprehend languages up.
He holds out his hands.
Okay,
Like,
I give
he
him
doesn't
some
have any
paper.
paper.
Yeah, I give him some of my stuff.
Okay.
I have paper and ink and everything. Just hand it over and go ahead.
He writes something down and then holds it up to you, and it says "hello" in common.
Oh, he can write in common.
So it would seem. Oh wait, no, he doesn't. No, I'm sorry, he can't write in common.
Okay.
It's a strange script. I'm sorry, I
Okay,
can't
I've never
actually
seen
reproduce
anything
it in
like
chat, but it is. Yeah, it's definitely not. You can make a history check if you like. Nope,
Nope.
never seen it.
What are you? Okay.
But you can read it because you comprehend languages.
Perhaps I should take a look at it.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe.
Belsar recognizes this, and that's not too surprising. This is an ancient script, quite ancient, one of the precursor races, long before humans or any other species, other than perhaps dragons, walked this world. There was a race of creatures known as Saurials, and you think that he is that the script, at least that he uses, is the Saurial script. You don't know a great deal about them because they've been largely extinct for a long time, though a few of them remain here and there, scattered throughout Faerun.
I have magic that lets me understand what you're writing, whatever it's in. Could you write down what it is you were trying to tell us before with your hand and pointing up?
He writes down and he holds it. He writes for a moment and he holds it up again. He says, I am devoted to Tyr, the even-handed god of justice.
Nice.
Neutral good.
Tyr?
Yep, same as the Norse deity.
Wow.
Yep. Neutral good.
Literally the same in pretty much
That's
every way.
fucking great, man.
And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Tyr.
I'll wrap up shortly here. He continues to write and holds it up again. We have much work to do in this place, but for now, I just want to protect artists.
He does seem reckless. I assume that you're translating for him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's holding it up. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he holds it up and I'll read it out to you.
I know what the script is, but I can't actually read it.
Also, Jay, specifically the reason that Belisar knows about Saurials is because they prosecuted a great war upon dragons at one point. And vice versa, to be fair. It was kind of a two-way street there.
Well, sure, because I know dragons are not innocent. But so that would make sense why I'd recognize it, because there was probably records in the tomes.
Indeed. But Tyr is a human god. Well, came about later. So it is a bit peculiar that a Saurial such as he would worship this entity. Unbless he does.
But anyway, I assume that you're translating for me.
Yep. I'll read it out loud to you if he holds up a script. So if you want to ask him a question, go ahead, and then I'll just translate for you.
I don't remember what my question was now. Sorry.
Dragonbait is writing something. He explains, my name was given to me by an old friend. It is a bit of a joke, but I like it.
How long ago?
The question seems to confuse him, and then he says, I do not count the years as you do. Well, he writes down. Before I met artists, so 100 years? More?
Are you immortal?
No, but we live much longer than your kind.
True enough. A lot of people do. I'm only 4.
That seems to amuse him greatly.
A bit
Son of
precocious.
Lemons just floods the air. You should sleep now, writes down. I will watch over you, as will Tyr.
Thank you. And agreed. And I'll start settling in so we can stop leaving 2 people out of the game.
Oh, it's all right. We need to wrap up now anyway.
Oh yeah, we're not going till 9:30.
Fennec's snoring.
Fortunately, I have to work now tonight, and it is a job that requires a bit more of my attention than usual.
My bad, guys. Didn't mean to monopolize the time.
Oh, we're good.
Oh, that's okay. It was relevant information, actually. It will come up probably, maybe.
Good, I hope so. Yeah,
So,
I thought we had more time, so I didn't think I was cutting in too much there. So.
oh my bad. So you penetrated into Mesro, where you encountered Artisimber and learned of his story. More than he would usually tell you due to an excellent persuasion roll by Bran. Much more. Tomorrow, I suppose, you will all set forth down the Ataz Muhaha and south to Kirsabal. Or are you going to head straight west towards that Earth moat? Still going to Kirsabal first?
I believe that, yeah, if we were invited to Kirsabal, it would make more sense, especially if they're going to give us the ability to fly, then getting to the Earth moat maybe.
That makes a lot of sense. Cool. Excellent.
Sounds good.
All right. Well,
Nice.
yeah, I didn't expect to have 3 random encounters this session, but that happens.
All we need is one more, right? Maybe.
Yeah, about it. You guys should level up soon, huh?
That's
So
exciting.
Good.
close.
Yeah, I know. It's like we just need what
350?
Yeah,
You need about 350.
350.
Just find another goblin pack like that.
I'm just hopefully you'll run into another random. Yeah, I'm actually glad you guys ran into a few extra random encounters. Those Grillin zombies are nasty. You guys handled that a lot better than I expected. I was a little bit
Yeah.
nice by having 2 of them
You
spend their turns on Asaka, but
yeah,
still.
like their full attack is pretty damn scary,
I mean, they only do D4s for damage,
but they're
But-
strong.
But it's
but
still
there's 5
4 of
attacks.
them.
It's 4 claws plus the D6 bite attack.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 attacks per turn is brutal action economy. Just brutal.
Ugh,
Good sesh. Good sesh.
definitely a good session.
Is Lucas okay?
Yeah, he's fine. All right. That wraps it up for tonight. I'm going to head out and go to work. Does anybody need the server still up? Or are we good?
No, I'm good.
I don't think so. I got my notes.
You guys learned a lot of plot relevant information tonight, so try to remember it. Maybe write down the various things you learned about Raznazi and
Here.
Artis.
Here.
Do want to say thanks for tuning into the stream and everything. This, as they were saying, wraps up the 4th session. Our next one will be 2 weeks out. Like the previous weeks, I will be uploading the recording of the stream to YouTube. So I think I have a link on my channel. Otherwise, I know I have a link for my Facebook. I update on there once the video is up on YouTube. If anyone who missed the session and are interested in getting caught up, we have the last 3 weeks already uploaded on there, and by the weekends, the new one should be up. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and see you next time.